Welcome to the Screen Blast Wrap-Up. I am tagged along with...
K9 Biscuits!
Of course, I'm Bryan the Baltimorean. After a couple editing snafus, here we are. This is the third month in the year. We're already now at the end of March, so we're already a third of the way through the year mark. That's insane. Pretty soon we'll be doing our half-year mark reviews, our top 10 or top 5 movies. And there's a lot of nominees. I mean,
pretty soon we're going to be old and dying on life support, and we're still going to be doing this. Well, thank you to our 5 viewers who stuck with us.
And our 1 Patreon subscriber.
No, wait. Sorry. 4 viewers. Thank you to our 4 viewers who stuck with us for most of our lives. Our doctors told us we're probably going to die at the age of 80.
It's like right now,
I'm 79. I'm turning 70. I'm turning 79 tomorrow. So my last year, fuck.
We're not even actually recording at that point.
I'm just talking. Thinking. No, I'm just like talking to a wall.
Yeah, you're talking to a wall. I'm not even in existence. You're just talking to a wall.
Did you pass away already?
No, there's no distinction of what happened, but it's clear that you are just talking to a wall. I'm nowhere to be found. And this is March 2025, not March of 2049. Don't worry about that yet. We'll be in our late 50s by that point. Mid-50s. Mid-50s.
Marvel will finally be good by then.
I don't want to think about it. Fucking Avengers 90.
What year will Disney run out of fucking remakes?
Well, they're gonna remake the remakes, remember. They always have a way.
Fuck!
Yes, because they made money.
Cause, by the way, Cinderella turned 10 this week. Or last week.
Some of the live action movie.
Yes. They've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, I think the era that we're in, I kind of think of Jungle Book as the real Kickstarter, and that was like in 2016, but either way, it's been 10 years.
I think Cinderella was the first.
But was that in the... Yeah, but it's live action.
It was the first of this... Well, okay, it's not the first live action remake for Disney, but it's the first, of this initiative.
Did you, we'll talk
because
about...
I think the actual first was 101 Dalmatians, I think.
I remember that. But that was more just chasing off the popular... No, yeah.
I would say Cinderella's the first of this new initiative.
Yeah, I think, we'll talk about Snow White a little later, but you saw the little detail that I had about, in the group chat about, the fact that Disney had been... The live-action Snow White adaptation had taken so long that its original plan was, like, to be this kung fu-ish, like, you know, Kill Bill stylish
it was?
Movie. Yeah, because it was supposed to be... Disney originally was scripted with a concept where it was more kung fu based. It was gonna be wacky.
I didn't see this movie, but didn't Snow White and the Huntsman already make an action?
And basically that was a Snow White and the Huntsman movie, but that wasn't them. But that was on the pipeline for a while. It just sat there. It got started again around like the early 2010s, and then it fell out of favor. And then they kind of went through this live action era, and most of the live action movies don't diversify from the main storyline like they originally were going to plan to do with the Snow White movie from the late 90s, the pitch at least. So, yeah.
No, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, and you're going to be the reporter on that. I thankfully didn't have to do it.
Well, we're going to pause the recording so we can go to the theater and see it and come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, of course, for anything we talk about, of course, this is a spoiler alert, even if we're just...
I'm sorry to mean to cut you off, but we can continue the podcast in the theater. The theaters are usually empty for that movie.
For Snow White?
Yeah. We
could probably drown out... Like, the only problem is the annoying-ass movie that's actually playing in the theater, but, like, we could actually probably just take over, like, 4 continuous run times of Snow White.
Just get a bat and just, like, find the speakers and just take them out.
And then, by the way, if one audience member showed up, we could just... They'd be like, yeah, I actually enjoy this over the movie, so we would
we have our one viewer.
We have the one viewer. Yeah. By the way, the RetrieverCon cartoon chat will be going live. That also had, for a long time, one viewer. So, yeah, it's been a great month, though. You know, can't complain. But, again, spoiler alert.
I can, but I won't.
No, and I won't either. Yeah.
Actually, no, this is why we're doing the podcast. We have some shit to complain about.
Mark, obviously, this is our new segment.
New segment? We have those?
We finally have a little bit more budget in the way that we can conceptualize these things.
What budget? This didn't cost anything. It just cost time.
That's all the worth we have, Mark. Time. That's all the worth we have. But in this section, we're talking trailers that that happened through the month that are kind of big, kind of massive. For now, it's movies. We might in the future, Mark, put some game trailers in the future.
I'm sorry, are you drinking coffee on the job?
Could you imagine if a boss was pissed at someone drinking coffee on the job?
Are you drinking water? Are you breathing?
See, here's what you have to do for an audio.
Are you breathing?
Here's what you have to do for an audio podcast for you to get fired.
And you're like
I'm hydrated. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, you shout out. And like in the middle of, well, I think, to go into I don't mean to go into a tangent, but like, I'm hydrated. Just announce it.
No, it's just the fuck. All right. So first things first, Mark. Going through the trailers. I want to talk about obviously kind of the biggest thing, at least in filmmaking, that we have to focus on. That's going to come up in the next couple years, within the next year or two, is the first big trailer, and that is, Mark. What it was the best thing that happened. It was 7 hours long or something. This Doomsday cast reveal. I mean, what a world.
So if you're not in the know, there's a lot of these actors' names you don't know them. And, like, some of them are, like, really weird, like, non-standard American names. So it's, like, unless you look them up. Because, like, people who are watching this are just already looking up these names on the computer anyway. And it's like, oh, they played this. They played this. This is this guy.
Right.
Especially when, like, the new Falcons names show up. Like, who's that guy? Oh, him.
Dude, literally every single person I ended up putting in parentheses what they actually do, like, who they are. Because it's like, who the fuck are these people? Like, who the fuck are they really? Like, the only person that you'd know really are a few key people. But either way, the way that Marvel did this was astounding. It was like the laziest thing that I think I've ever seen a studio do. You could have had something interesting.
As if we're actually, like, really, like, hyping. Like, a good comparison is, like, a Smash reveal. Like, I remember when, because, like, I guess what they were hoping for, the emotion same, is, like, when Smash Ultimate was revealed,
yeah,
they were announcing the new fighters one by one, and they were showing them off. I mean, we got visuals for that too, so it was even better. But like every time they showed off, like you would just get cheers, and it's like Mario, Pikachu, Sonic, and it's just like and they just showing them off one by one, all the characters coming back. This is trying to go for that same thing. It's like it's Shimu Lu. And it's Florence Pugh.
It's like trying to catch
Kelsey Grammer.
Whoa! Holy shit!
And like it like you have like it also it's very because like I wasn't actually watching this. I feel bad for people because anybody who's actually had this on, they're multitasking. It's on in the background.
Absolutely.
Or they're doing it for content. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult you, but like if you're just watching this whole 5 hour thing just straight and just this, you're stupid.
Why do you say that? Why do you say I don't mean to insult you?
I mean to insult, yeah. I do mean
you
it.
You do it on purpose.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
You might be stupid.
Hey, you're pretty dumb. I think you're pretty dumb. This cast, this was, again, I think if Marvel really wanted to do a little bit of effort or have a little bit of effort, my preference would have been, because the answer is right in front of you, and that is just do the signature thing that you did at the end of Endgame, but also don't stretch this out for 5 or 7 hours. Just do the signature thing, have their fucking last moment, like one of their big, do the Endgame thing, you know what I mean? Where it's like, cast member, fucking signature, boom.
Honestly, or just show that, or
signature,
just, you shouldn't have did that 5 hour thing, just show that 1.5-minute trailer right there.
Well, that's what was annoying, was like, if you did keep watching in the background of doing stuff, because I was editing while I was watching this, so I was keeping up with it. At the very end, within like 5 minutes, Marvel put out the 1.5-minute version. It's like, you could have just...
You know what's stupid about the 1.5-minute version? Polar's chair's not even tiny in that version.
No, so it loses the comedic value out of it, So let me in general, I'll just run through a couple of things here that were notable because like you said this immediately upon these aren't the only characters that are here, but there is something to the fact that what we have here are the Fantastic Four main cast, the Thunderbolts main cast,
with the exception of somebody, so that means somebody's dying.
Yeah, because it was I think everyone, right?
Everyone from the Thunderbolts is there. I didn't look it up. I remember hearing there's an exception.
There's probably an exception. So that means I don't know who's the dude. There are so many people in that fucking movie. It's like 7 people you're supposed to focus on, and these are supposed to be the forgettable second chance people that we're supposed to care about. But it's not the Thunderbolts main cast, which sure that means now I'm supposed to care about the Thunderbolts. Okay, you got me. But then it's the X-Men from the Fox era. It's the Captain America crew, the Black Panther crew, which is just 2 people on top of Black Panther.
Where's Harrison Ford? Where's 40?
But it's interesting that it's the Fox characters, but it kind of makes sense. It's Doomsday, so you're gonna have the mutants. You're gonna have the Fantastic Four. That's obvious. It's like I don't know how much of a play the Thunderbolts would have.
No Samuel Jackson. No fucking Mark Ruffalo.
Right, and again, even if they were in support roles, you would think that Samuel L. Jackson would have actually.
But we're hearing that Hulk and Punisher is in Spider-Man for some reason. Okay.
Maybe is it a lead up to Secret Wars? Again, we keep talking about this.
There's some sources they're saying the main villain of the new Spider-Man movie might be the Chameleon, which is kind of the same gimmick as Skrull, but the Chameleon.
Do you think
the Chameleon's a shapeshifter or also he's also a good what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, isn't that also kind of Mysterio's play? Is he going to basically be running into the similar... not that it's the same, but...
Mysterio will give you tricky illusions, but he doesn't, try to trick you like somebody else most of the time.
Well, most of the...
He did.
But that's what he...
that's not his thing.
At his height in the movie, though, in Far From Home, he utilized that.
Yeah, be Nick Fury. But, right. I know Chameleon's thing is to just trick you to think he's somebody else.
Do you think they should just if they're being smart, they're gonna make him a Skrull, right? They're just gonna mesh together. He's a Skrull.
No, he's probably just a Russian dude.
Well, that would be disconnecting. Just because. Because if he just appears like that out of the blue, then that doesn't help. But if it does interlace into the Skrulls, that finally means that we have some sort of threads that are coming together.
You're right. Marvel never gets inconsistent with anything.
I agree, and they definitely will not leave the Skrulls sitting there doing nothing for most of their...
Yeah. Marvel got this. They got this.
By the way, did you see how mad Moon Knight fans got? It's like, dude, it's a half-finished Moon Knight. We can't fucking... I'm sorry, we can't have him in this movie yet because he's not done. I'm sorry, you just can't.
Moon Knight's probably never coming back.
No.
I don't think there's any plans for another season or anything.
Also, Oscar...
To greenlit another season, I mean.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac's got better shit to do, by the way, than wait for Marvel to get their shit together. Yeah. He was great casting, but they don't know what to do with that character. Clearly. I'm sorry, they know what to do. They didn't greenlight the second season.
I enjoyed most of Moonlight. It could have been better, but
I thought most of it was pretty good. There were just a few critical episodes that were what the fuck are we doing? I think, if I'm remembering correctly. This was 2022, I think. That's how long ago it's been.
There's definitely a section of unfinished storytelling, especially with the last personality. There's a big plot point with that last personality, and they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna give it to you until the next season." I'm well, that you just destroyed the climax of giving me a piece by not giving me a piece of the story,
and also by not actually finishing this and leaving it on a cliffhanger. Now we literally don't have the finished character.
Yeah, you never see the Spider-Verse movies pulling shit like that. Oh, wait. Wait a minute.
We will get to that. Yeah. I think, But yeah, I think it's... Look, you have Loki here. Loki's the most valuable being in this whole movie. Doomsday's supposed to be obviously critical, but again, it feels like he's going to hypothetically be dead by the end of the movie. This variant of Doomsday, at least. Secret Wars will not have dead Doomsday, most likely. Weird. I don't know what this. I'm not against this movie. In fact.
Oh, they announced that?
No. I just isn't Secret Wars Doomsday usually, or is that not Doomsday?
I assume these are connected in some way.
They have to be.
Cause I know this movie's about Doomsday and he's fucking up shit, but I assume it would lead into Secret Wars and Doomsday is still fucking up shit, but he's doing it in a different way or something. That's what I assume. This is not any sources I got it from, but it's Doomsday is still doing shit.
Yeah.
It's like Endgame. It's like Infinity War and Endgame. Thanos is still fucking up shit, but he did his job.
We were going to talk about briefly the electric state. Do you have less confidence now more than ever? Does the electric state affect your confidence in the directing team? Because I'm not. I think they went for that as a payday, and they're going after this as a payday, not out of pure love and passion.
Well, I heard they also made a show that was also mediocre. I don't remember the name of it. I think it was like a Prime exclusive show.
A Prime exclusive show. Okay, I don't remember what that was, but I think for the most part, it's been solid. You know what I mean? Like their track record, especially Marvel, is amazing. But it's like, thank you, Max.
They didn't direct it, but they were the producers on the Everything Everywhere.
Yeah, they saw the vision. They clearly saw the writing team and the directing team knew what they were doing, and I think that's a smart thing to get behind.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna say we'll see.
We'll see.
Because I used to think Kevin Feige was the guy, but he's looking over all this shit, and then he just.
Well, we talked about this after Endgame, and it's again, I can't. I am pissed, but I understand, because again, the whole thing with Feige is. If I was the head of a company that made more money than any film franchise in history, and that in my job was to lead a film franchise, I have done the best ever. So I just kind of got lazy and I just said, fuck it, approve this and this and this. I don't give a fuck. I won. I'm going to go off to a beach somewhere. I don't give a fuck. I did it. So I get it. After Endgame, I could see why the shit got loose and careless, but I do not like that it did get loose and careless. I don't. Again, a lot of this is going to rely on Fantastic Four. What is Fantastic Four feel
a lot of this movie from this seats, the chairs.
Yeah.
Is that it's just relying on the gimmick this time around is nostalgia. Is
is it? I couldn't tell from all the old ass motherfuckers in this movie. Jesus Christ!
You have multiple chins because you're old. Because, I think would have been cooler if, just throw in some famous names that haven't been in these Marvel... that haven't been, in a Marvel role yet.
I will say, I like that they're bringing Gambit in here, because, again, it might be a different variant of Gambit, obviously, or it will be, guaranteed, a different variant of Gambit than what we saw in Deadpool, which was made to be kind of more comedic.
Yeah. But
cool. The fact that Channing Tatum actually gets to do it, whether that means he's playing it for 5 minutes or for a little longer... means that we do get more of that, again, that Fox legacy that we never got a chance to enjoy.
So,
that I'm up for. I don't give a fuck about seeing old-ass Magneto and old-ass Professor X again. These guys are almost 90. I'm done. I'm good.
So, imagine you're seeing these names scroll by. You get the familiar names. And, whether you're tired of seeing these people or not, these are just still famous names that haven't been in Marvel. So, it scrolls by, you see, fucking Jack Black, Danny DeVito... Fucking what's another famous name? I don't know. Fucking Jimmy Fallon.
Fuck no.
I'm just throwing out famous names out there, and he's like, who the hell are they gonna be?
Bill Cosby.
And he's the one
he was.
They're all roofied.
He's Kang now. He's Kang now. Yeah, I mean,
it is you see famous names of people who haven't been in the Marvel thing yet, and oh, that's when the speculation actually starts.
My biggest thing here is notably, as of right now, obviously, again, there's a ton of secondary characters we don't know. But good for Shang-Chi that he's going to be in this first movie. I hope he gets a lot of time. We need him to... I hope he
I hope those 10 rings actually do something.
Yes.
Because, like, that fucking shitty, post-credits scene, like, where they got all the scientists.
We need you and your technology.
No, they were like, hey, Shang-Chi, those rings are important. Yeah. And they used to have all the, and, like, it was just Shang-Chi. No, fuck it, it was Wong. He was like, Shang-Chi, those rings are important. We got the other scientists to agree. And they were like, yeah, they're important rings. Yeah, they're important. Yeah, keep an eye on them. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's really great that we have
it was like the most awkward post-credit scene, mid-credit scene, too.
Yeah, it's really great that we still haven't seen Wong or Strange since Doctor Strange. Multiverse Madness, that's great.
Wong and Strange together, you mean? We've seen Wong plenty of times.
We've seen Wong, I mean, in fucking valuable, important moments. Not like, hey, hi, bye. Like, you know, fucking Jesus.
I mean, he was in Spider-Man, She-Hulk.
Again, important things, Mark. You're throwing out garbage.
Spider-Man?
No, you said the other thing that I think is...
She-Hulk was fine. Fuck you. You didn't see it.
You
didn't want to.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad you did. Sure.
I just think the joke in the last episode just came in at the wrong time. You don't break the universe when the universe is like fucking.
It's in horrible scenarios. It's in a horrible situation. Absolutely. Any final thoughts on this? It's kind of at the end of the day we're talking about this, but it was in the grand scheme pointless because again there are going to be other characters in here that obviously are going to have minor roles.
So I think the other characters that weren't showcased are just like minor roles, and they're just gonna show it to be like, I'm gonna be in the next one. I'm gonna be in the next one. I'm gonna be in the next one. Well, something, and they just like have that one shot where the big thing happens and the sky blows up, and you have the shot of all the heroes looking at the sky like.
I still hope that we get an actual scene with Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. Like, because your concept here means that that's not going to happen. But what I'd like to see, and we don't see it here, is when everyone saw Robert Downey Jr. is Doomsday, or Dr. Doom, I mean, Jesus. It was like, I really, really hope, because this Spider-Man knows stuff that no one else does, because no one else remembers him. But he knows who Robert Downey Jr. is in his universe. I really just want to have, because those two had a connection.
Well, either way, he wouldn't try to persuade him because the magic spell was everybody, no matter who they are, forget who Peter Parker is. So Peter Parker would know, even if he think Tony's alive, he'd know Tony wouldn't know him. That's how it works. So it'll be the same effect, even if that was the real Tony.
I'm actually very disappointed that that's the truth, because again, like that was like the way that those movies were. They were a father-son thing, and the idea that they not only will not have a moment together, or if they do, it will be irrelevant because, like, maybe they say 2 lines together. Maybe there's like just a little bit of dialogue, but maybe it's a dialogue line of, X-27, and is that X-27? Is that her name? If I remember, the female Wolverine, and in Deadpool Wolverine, it's like you're not the guy that I know, but the guy that I do know helped me. And if you get that moment, that's all I want. I'll be honest with you, like genuinely. It may not mean anything to that Tony Stark, but just something like that, because those two were like, they were such a piece to that second half of the Endgame era. Like,
I don't really have this have this criticism with most movies, but when No Way Home is I like the way the ending was presented. I don't like what the ending is story-wise.
You don't like what it means for the rest of the... Agreed.
Yeah, Agreed. I don't like that everyone has to forget what Peter Parker is.
Because I agree with you, Glenn. I remember at the end of that movie, and we walked out of the theater, and I was like, oh yeah, it was, that's okay. Like, cool. He has to move on, and now he's got to be on his own, and now he's got his own Spider-Man narrative going. But then that also means that we're at this point where if Spider-Man comes back, it means nothing. Unless Loki adjusts the... But that's so unnecessary. Loki wouldn't care about that.
Also, that's too easy. You want people to remember Spider-Man? Okay.
Yeah, it's like that's not Loki's not gonna do that shit.
We don't know what his. I mean, I don't know what his powers actually do because, I mean, theoretically, if he's like the god of all time, I feel like the ending of the movie is like Doom is like creating like the disastrous apocalypse, and he's winning. Everybody's dead, and like they finally get to Loki and like Loki, everyone's dying. Oh, okay. Let me just fucking move this here. Let me just cut this, and there you go. You're good. That's flowers bloom everywhere. Doom is just fucking dead.
Yeah, that just reminds me. Like, yeah.
So
good job on, by the way, again, Loki the series turning me into such a fan.
Maybe comic book fans know what his powers actually entail, but like I don't from watching the end of Loki, I get that he's a god of time. I don't know how much power he has. Right, especially if he's showing up again.
Like if someone sneaks around him, can he notice that? And will he be able to adapt? Or does it mean that he's just kind of stuck in a weird place like Atlas?
Well, like I can understand if he's just God and we never see Loki again, then that means like, okay, there's no stakes with him. And I don't have to understand his powers because he's just God. Right. But like since he's coming back, meaning there has to be some kind of stakes with him.
He's clearly a valuable piece because he's a member of the main cast, not secondary, not pop in and out. He is clearly a valuable piece to this cast, or he wouldn't be up here.
Also, like the titling, Brand New Day.
Wait. You're moving on to Spider-Man. I do have that later on. But go ahead.
Oh, because like I think it's perfect to talk about here because it's supposed to take place in between Doomsday.
Or go ahead.
It's supposed to take place in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, and like first of all, the title is like it is based off a comic book title of like from what I heard, is one of the worst Spider-Man comics. And secondly, it's like if the title means anything for the movie, it's weird because I feel like Doomsday will probably have like my prediction is Doomsday's gonna have like a same kind of like ending of Infinity War where it's like either a world crisis or apocalyptic. And like a brand new, and if this Spider-Man is like having a brand new day, just like he's starting off normal with this, is going to be weird. I can only imagine like with that title, if it means something for the movie, it probably takes place before the world crisis events, if there is a crisis.
It has to because hypothetically, if you were actually making a movie that was going to be impacted by the events of Doomsday, like what I would have loved is if the logo had like some greenish effect, some sort of like effect where, number one, we talked about this before recording, I don't like that they changed the entire font, the entire format, gives the impression that it's not even the same guy. It's the same guy.
I wish they would use the word
keep it consistent, but it's not. It's like weird, right? So it just keep the same font that you had going because it gives the impression it's not. Moving on from that point being, yeah, I would have liked if the logo had some sort of like, it's greenish, right? There's some sort of greenish thing. Things look a little cracked and withered. Maybe there's like it's a sign to the audience that this takes place around the impacts of Doomsday. But I think if you're gonna have this optimistic color palette, because this is the classic Spider-Man color palette, but it's also optimistic in that way, right? Like if you're gonna have this optimistic color palette, well, where it's bright and colorful, it can't be dour like that, or I don't believe it will be, and so it's got to be before. And I think that's unfortunate because that's kind of like how it was helpful for Ant-Man. Ant-Man came out and it's like it gives you an understanding of why he is where he is right before Endgame, but it didn't necessarily matter really. Spider-Man, it's like, yeah, we need to check.
Yeah, I never thought about that because like it's probably happening during or before the events of like Doomsday. Which double means you're not getting your Robert Downey Jr. Tom Holland crossover within that movie possibly.
But also,
and then the mid credit scenes is the effect of Doomsday happening then.
Yeah.
Because I never thought about like that Ant-Man thing, but yeah.
It's a weird place to. This is why again when they fucked everything else up and we were like you should put a movie before Avengers. when Blade was getting like all this mixed up shit, and there's no movie at the end of this year. Obviously, Disney doesn't want to put anything in competition with itself.
Well, also like I just thought about this. It's like
go for it.
What was because like Marvel movies are just kind of like, with exception of Deadpool, Wolverine, kind of like falling off in terms of box office. Like this like these three together are heavy hitters. So you have like an Avengers movie, a fucking Spider-Man movie between that, and another Avengers movie after that.
And I don't remember. There's something else in 2027 before Avengers, I believe, or after. It's either before or after. There's something. Is it a Shang-Chi that Shang-Chi got accelerated? No, Shang-Chi got slowed down. Spider-Man got sped up. Yeah.
Okay.
So, there's another Shang-Chi movie. But it's after these events. That's confirmed, which means that we know he's still alive after this whole whatever the fuck.
Okay, so it's after the next Avengers.
It's after the next Avengers.
Okay, so between these three are heavy, because like this could make good synergy if like they keep up the good movies, because these three names alone, whether the movie's good or not, is going to bring in people. Yep. These are all three are events.
Yep.
Especially like Sony is like desperate to like. I think
Sony is definitely desperate.
Yeah. I've been hearing through meetings is like they want to bring back Toby and like
and Andrew. It's like, dude, we're done. Stop. Just fucking Jesus Christ.
I know, but they want lightning in a bottle twice. They don't get that like the meaning of it, of like this can only work once. It only have the same effect once.
Well, the thing is, I'm not getting into it. Continue your point. I'm not getting into
it. Oh, that was it.
Because I could get into a tangent about fucking Andrew Garfield is now too old. Where it's like...
Well, you start the tangent.
Okay. If you started production of an Andrew Garfield movie when No Way Home was new, you're good. But it's now been 4 years. Or it will be 4 years by the time this new Spider-Man movie comes out. And there's no way in hell they're going to make some production pipeline for Andrew Garfield while this movie's
happening. Here's my theory, because I think this is the same theory I think this is the same like rumored stuff people had. Like, Andrew Garfield was meant to be tied into one of these shitty Sony movies, and he just...
that was always... Yeah, that was absolutely the original plan.
And he was like, no.
It's like, don't put me in the trash. The fuck? No one wants to... That's why they never found their Spider-Man. It's like, no one wants to be tied in with that garbage.
We would have accepted a new Spider-Man easily. They should have just got some random smucker like, oh yeah, this universe's Peter Parker.
Well, that's why at this point it's like... And I'm... At its core... I am extremely happy that we are absolutely confirmed for a fourth movie, because, again, remember, we were young ones. Civil War in 2016. We were talking about the Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. It's like, holy shit. And Spider-Man Homecoming. It's like, holy shit. What if we could watch this kid, Tom Holland, grow up and become this mature Spider-Man? And grow more into the role as we watch it. And we are at this fourth movie, but I hope it is not I hope this is not the last time we see. If we're going to keep on with Tom Holland, if we are confirmed, we got 1, 2, 3, cool. If we're at 4 now, let's just, I don't want a new person. I just want Tom Holland to continue to get well-written movies. We keep seeing him as Spider-Man. And we're looking back, let's say it's 2030.
I mean, as long as Tom Holland's good with it, I don't see it stopping.
Let's say it's 2030, and he's now, like, a much older, not super old, because 2030 is only 5 years away, but let's say it's 2030, he's an even more older, adult-level Spider-Man. It's like, that's awesome. Like, we haven't gotten a long-term Spider-Man, single-actor-focused franchise, in like Wolverine had. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well the thing about like Tom Holland is he has that forever kid face.
For now. But I mean, people said that about Leonardo DiCaprio as well. And like by about 2010 that faded, right? So like eventually that's gonna turn. And I think that's good. I want to see that happen.
Harrison Ford he still looks like he's in his 20s.
He totally does.
That's what they want to believe in Indiana Jones 4.
That's why when they did the de-aging, I was like, why the fuck did you do the de-aging? Just have him be actually him.
What was funny about the de-aging scene, it's like, oh, this is young Indy. It's weird how he sounds so old and gruff.
Get off my train.
Get off my train. Wow, you sound really old and gruff, Indy.
And by the way, you're walking...
You sound older than you do in 4.
And by the way, outside of the CGI moments, you move around like you're, like, still slowish, which I don't know what happened.
Was he being mocap for those?
He was at times being mocap, but then it's like, I guess they had him still do certain movements. Rewatch that train sequence, because at certain moments, it's clearly him... And then in other moments, they have clearly an actor. Maybe that's when they bring the stunt double in.
I mean,
but
I can see why they did that. It was a trailer for the Indiana Jones game, and they used in-game footage.
That whole game, by the way, felt more like Indiana Jones than the entire.
That's what everyone is saying, and that's why. That's why, I'm excited. I'm gonna get it for the release of PS5.
Oh,
I've been wanting to try that for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
But like going back to Spider-Man real quick, it's like
we're spending a lot of time on just this segment. We've got to move on, but go ahead.
It's gonna be like that for Marvel every time.
It will be every time.
It will be every time. You can't.
We're gonna talk about the
you knew this was coming.
Well, I did.
It was gonna be over half the podcast.
It was inevitable, just like Thanos was.
Until Marvel is good, we are going to be going on about how it sucks.
It's like the Wii U, like we talked about 10 years ago.
Oh, the Wii U. Oh, so let me get started. The Wii U. All right, but anyway, like Spider-Man is like so. I hope this is like. I like the branding of home, using home and everything. And I love the speculation that every time there was a new movie, they would like try to fit home into some kind of subtitle. So what's the next movie going to be?
It's got to be
Are they going to use the word new or day?
It's got to be day.
Because it can't be brand. Because what's the next movie? Spider-Man, like Raisin Brand? Spider-Man...
No, it's Sony. It's Spider-Man. Sony's desperate for brand appeal.
Brand appeal. Spider-Man brand appeal.
Brand appeal. But I think day... Again, I don't think they thought this out, but I do think that day will be the core focus.
Well, there is another comic. Well, the comic before Brand New Day is called One More Day. So the movie could be called one. The next movie could be called One More Day.
Well, that would be perfect to get people hyped. It's One More Day with Spider. It's like, all right, fucking relax. Like it's the end of the world. That would have been perfect between two Avengers movies, by the way. One More Day instead of Brand New Day. Even if you're going to be inspired by the comic-centric story of Brand New Day.
Even though apparently that comic is like one of the worst Spider-Man comics that started the plummet sales of Spider-Man comics.
Why would you even name that way?
They probably didn't know. They just were being...
like, how do you not know? Remember how Marvel...
Some people don't do their research.
Do you remember how Marvel used to be very cheeky, but like very witty about how they would include knowledge about, like how you could tell they clearly had knowledge about like the comics and everything. They just kind of led and brought it in very well symmetrically and did it in a cheeky way. Like now sometimes they don't even give a fuck. Like, dude, naming it Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'm joking, guys. Don't fucking, if you find this later, I'm joking. But like, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the equivalent of like Captain America, like World Trade Center. It's like, it's like, why would you do not understand the fucking context of what this means for like the situation, the character, and what that would mean hypothetically? It's like it's just not fitting.
There were like Marvel 9/11 comics.
There are, yeah. My dad actually bought 2 of them, and I still have one of them that's still in the fucking.
Doctor Doom cries in one of those apparently. I hope that happens in Doomsday. Where Robbie Downey Jr. is like, the towers.
It's like, bro, how would you even, like, did you come out of September 11, 2001? Is that he got dragged out?
It was between space and time.
That's where. It's like, hey, could you wait, but you run up to Doom, hey, could you buy me a Dreamcast, like, right from the 2000, please? Bring, like, 5 of them. Can I get 5 of them, please? They're mint condition!
They took my towers, so I'm taking everything of yours.
Jesus. Well, and then, like, it's like one New Yorker's like, well, guys, you should probably go over to the Middle East. Wrong place. No, but, okay, I'm going to move off of Spider-Man Brand New Day. The other thing that was announced was, obviously, Beyond the Spider-Verse finally has a release date. June of 2027, Mark. You know, again, there's not much to learn here. I'm just happy that we have an actual release date. It's probably going to get pushed again. That's inevitable. That's how it works.
Cool. My gimmick movie theaters are going to be probably dead by then.
Yeah, we're losing in the Baltimore, Washington metro area. We're losing 2
Screen X
value.
We're losing 4DX. Fuck.
4DX eventually, but Screen X immediately.
More theaters need to have gimmicks because that's how that's.
I wanted to theoretically, the Columbia Cinemark that's closing, I don't know if it is, like, what's the test case here? Were they trying, because, like, there was no real appeal to that theater except for ScreenX. Was that literally a test run, like a theoretical test run of how well a movie theater could do if it's just based on a special theater alone in sales? Because it's so out of the way. There's no real reason to go to it specifically. Like, it felt like the only reason to go to that theater would be to go for that experience. And it's like, does this mean that that does not sell? Or does that mean that the theater was just in the wrong place to do it? I don't know.
I feel like if anybody's going to a theater in the Columbia area, they're just going to the AMC.
Even though that one's fine. It's not great. It's not amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, AMC doesn't have any real gimmicks except for Dolby.
Did you hear that AMC is now investing more? They're going to put more IMAX with laser. That's their fucking gimmick.
Okay, so I don't get I guess the quality's higher. I've seen IMAX with laser, and I'm watching the movie. My brain doesn't think about, whoa, this is much clearer than other theaters.
No, I think the tech should be in the seating. Like, the tech should be in the 4DX, the one that you said you were going to later.
Yeah.
D-Box. Sorry. D-Box, 4DX. And I don't know why, easily, D-Box should be in more places.
When it says lasers, it should be with actual, like, lasers, like concert lasers, like, pew, 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 like,
there should
fucking flashing in your face during the whole movie. Like,
there should absolutely be, like, effective lighting on the sidewall of the sidewalls of theaters that are kind of generic.
That's what 4DX does.
Where it's like, yeah, like, but there should be at least lighting like that. That should be a function to make people want to go more, because
we need more tech that we like.
That changes from just the typical TV screen.
Because I like when, like, things, especially, like, even arcades, how they used to be back then, like, when things are treated as amusement parks, because it's like, I want, the reason I get out is to do things I can't do in my own house. So it's like, I don't have 4DX in my house.
Right.
I don't have D-Box in my house. I don't have ScreenX in my house. I mean, there's VR, but, like, it's not the same.
No.
So it's like I want more theaters to have these gimmicks to give an incentive to, like, not wait for streaming.
Of course. I mean, because again, like, there's nothing wrong with the standard screen. In fact, that's how I watch my movie. That's literally how I watch 99.9% of all the movies that come to theater. I do like the idea that, like, there should be, like, again, we talked about this, like, there should be more. If I'm a theater, it would be expensive to do this, but ScreenX should be in every big budget modern theater. Like, every big budget modern theater should have a ScreenX experience, because it is the only alternate, like, outside of the obvious 4DX, which is seating based, and D-Box, which is seating based. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. But, like, back to Spider-Man, but, like, finally we got a fucking release date for this.
Yeah.
And
again, June of 2027, so we're 2 years out.
Which, again, I keep, like, the more I'm further away from the original, from seeing fucking,
2.
Yeah, 2. What was it? Beyond it? Across the Spider-Verse.
It's
like, the more I love the movie. I love the movie. The more, but I dislike the ending more.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it didn't finish the story. You just cut it off. And it's like, it's not like a movie ending cliffhanger, like, like a build-up ending. It's just like, all right, that's it for the story. We're gonna stop it right here.
I just don't.
We'll get back to this later.
Now I'm getting upset as well, but I'm 50-50. I don't like the false promise, because, like, when we came out of the theater, remember you were pissed, and I was like, well, they promised next year, and, like, that was where I was like, if it's next year, I'm fine with this. If it's 2023 to 2024, fine, cool, whatever. Like, we can handle that, and we will be fine. But, like, if it was going to be a 3-year gap, 4-year gap, like, that's where you should have just...
It makes me wonder what the fuck happened, because it's not like the release date was, like, 2 years away. It was the next year, and
it was like a lie. It was just a lie.
Because you had to assume, okay, if it's right next year, the movie's practically done. Most of it's done. It's just they're holding it until the next year because, we can't just throw a 4 or 5 hour movie in the theater.
It's like Wicked Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 is currently in, I think, post-production right now.
Yeah, so it's like...
They finished that.
It's practically done. So, we're just going to wait until next year. And, we get the news as, no release date confirmed.
No, and the voice
it's not coming next year, it's not coming the year after. And, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, that's where things...
Somebody burned the footage?
That's where it's like, I just remember, it's like, I was on Sony's side about this with the following year thing, where it's like, all right, it's coming in 2024, relax. But then the voice actor's like, we didn't even record lines yet, and we haven't done...
So it's a silent film. Cool.
And it's like... well, this can't even be that close then. And obviously the more we heard, but again, there's still a chance this gets delayed again, and I'd be fine with it. I am now okay with this distance. Because Spider-Verse 1 came out in 2018. Spider-Verse 2 came out in 2023. I think, in reality, what's been great is... And they shouldn't have rushed this anyway. Right? They shouldn't even have said the release date. Because the cool thing with the Spider-Verse movies, so far, one of the best things about them is they level themselves up. They do things better visually. They do things with animation and framing and character design better. In both movies. We came out of the first movie and we're like, alright, so if they did a sequel, we didn't even think about a sequel, but if they did a sequel, it's like, alright, well, this is fine.
And they create expectations.
But then they topped that themselves. And it's but if they had just done a follow-up the following year, you wouldn't have the time to actually do that. And what we're seeing is, with this time gap, the likelihood.
It has to be better.
It not only will the story be as good, but visually it should be another technical marvel.
Well, I can only say, the I can't guarantee it was great, but, the expectations are way high.
It's scary. Yeah. Scary high, because you're teetering on... with two great movies like this, you are teetering on danger of collapsing what you've built.
Because also, since this is a connected story to the second one, if you fuck the story up, you're going to affect, the enjoyment of the second one.
Of the trilogy in general. You
how Incredibles 2 fucked up, the ending of the first Incredibles. It's because I assumed, it should have been a time skip, but, I like the fact that the Underminer was, here we go again ending. Yes, I never thought of it as a cliffhanger. It was just, here we go again. We're supers. We're about to defeat a guy. But then it goes to the next one. We're like, oh no, the Underminer got away.
He is a literal villain. He is just a literal, but he becomes a literal villain.
He becomes a literal villain, and he gets away. And they fucked that whole thing.
Not just that, but they don't even fucking know how to work together, even though that's what the fucking first movie, the whole core of the first movie, and them at the end being together was implying. And fuck that movie. Just fuck that movie, dude. I love that team, and fuck that movie.
Like I said last podcast, only high expectations for The Incredibles. It better be great. Incredibles 3 better be great.
You know what's funny?
I'm not accepting another Incredibles 2.
Wait a minute. When is Incredibles 3? Is that 2027 as well?
2026, I think. Or it could be 2027, I don't know. You might want to pause it.
Yeah, Incredibles 3 comes out, thank you, does not come out in 2004, guys. Really appreciate it. Bing is just as dumb as Google, apparently. Thank you. I love when they don't just put the fucking title in the, come on.
You might want to pause it.
No given release date. Okay.
Even no given release. They gave wasn't it a year window?
Okay. But it's interesting because obviously, if you look at the Incredibles, it's funny because the end of you look at the expectations for Incredibles 3 are to fix, to kind of set things back in order in comparison to Spider-Verse, which is just high expectation because the quality's always been high. It's funny. The comparison is expectations are equally as high, but one is just because they want to. We all want a course correction. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's obviously Frozen 3, which again is another kind of course correction as well. That comes out in 2027 as well, but probably end of year. Mark, we can kind of move off of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go to
I look forward to all of them.
The next big thing, the big trailer that came out. This trailer kind of took over the world for a second.
Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Why, Shrek, of course.
Shrek. We covered this on the Toon Talk, the Cartoon Chat Live we did at RetrieverCon. Again, appreciate RetrieverCon for having us. I think in summary, like, I understand because it's been a month now. Like, I've gotten so many thoughts like have gone through the letter. I think that the biggest issue with the movie to me now is that people are trying to find something to attach their hatred to. I think the biggest hatred is actually less about the animation, even though that's understandable. The biggest thing is, I think, the fact that it feels like this is a generic story that we've seen a million times. It's going to be the teenage thing. I want to go off on my own, dad. I don't want to do what you guys do, and you guys are different. And it's like we've seen that 1,000 times. And if that's the way that Shrek handles it for a fifth movie, or how DreamWorks handles it for a fifth movie, I understand that can work. That can.
Do we have a premise?
But the trailer it may not be the truth, but the way that it's the way that the teenager acts that is giving that impression. To a lot of people.
But like the premise,
that is literally. You haven't seen the memes out there. That's on the memes of where the kid is like, Dad, I want to do my own thing.
No, the memes are saying the kid is trans.
No, that's one fragment. That's not the whole fragment. The core meme now, or the past 3 weeks, has been notably that it's going to be a teenage independence story where she is going to rebel against what Fiona and Shrek are just trying to the generic because that's what it's like. Hey, fuck you, Dad.
I mean, sure. Theoretically, if it's in terms of like what this trailer is giving, but I think this is just a teaser trailer that has nothing to do with the movie. I think the movie's gonna have.
I hope so. We just
vastly different plot. Music teasers don't really, because also this is like 2 years away, so this is just a teaser.
It's another 2027 movie. That's right.
Yep.
Fucking Christ.
It's fucking Christmas of next year.
Ooh.
It was supposed to be June, but like there was like.
I think it's a smart move. Just move.
But no, because like it was supposed to be summer, but it was like no, Minions go here. Shrek push that over there.
Ew.
Which is a smart move because summertime Minions.
So Despicable Me. This is just a brief.
You put your big movies in summer.
Here's a brief fun prediction. The fandom for Despicable Me has sunken. Illumination doesn't know how to really. They kind of lost a little bit of the element. It made money, just the latest Despicable movie. But do you think Spider-Verse has always made less than Illumination movies because people don't go out and watch art that's perfection? If Spider-Verse 3 is good, do you think it will make more money than Minions?
Probably not.
Here's another one. Do you think that Shrek against Frozen 3 will make more money? Because
no.
We haven't had a big rivalry year like this between DreamWorks
because
Illumination versus
there's
Disney
a difference between in like types of money of like all ages, mostly adults love, and then all the children love, because children children, if it's a children's movie, they the whole family's involved. They probably want to see it multiple times. That's like usually my theory of how they make the most money. These dumb kid flicks, how they make a lot of money, because children. I mean, Spider-Man just appeals to it appeals to children, but also mostly appeals to the older audiences. And it's kind of the same thing for Shrek, because Shrek is an older IP, and it's appealing to older audiences, especially if it's coming around the same time as Frozen, making even less money. No, it's not around time as Frozen, but around the same existence. As Frozen is going to be in theaters a week or a month at a time. That's going to stay in theaters for a while.
November.
And even if it's afterwards, people are preparing for Frozen. So if it's coming around Frozen, that's going to eat its pockets.
What's going to eat its pockets?
Frozen. Frozen is going to eat Shrek's pockets.
This is the thing again.
Money.
People keep talking about Disney's dead. No families go to see Disney. Frozen's a different thing. Even if Frozen 2 is bad, Frozen 3, it's been a long time. I think people.
Who the fuck is saying that? Because that's.
Well, no, that's an online big talking point. Is Disney's dead, and then They say that every time the live action, like right now when Snow White isn't making money, they bring up, Disney's dead. It's like, but then watch Lilo and Stitch make $1 billion.
They're dead creatively, but in terms of money,
they're fine.
They're
fine.
They were successful last year.
Exactly. Dude,
like fucking Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion, like $1 billion.
Inside Out. It was Deadpool
Inside Out
boosted any failure they had in the beginning of the year.
And Lilo and Stitch is going to make a ton of fucking money.
Exactly. So like that.
And Zootopia.
Yeah. So it's bullshit. Yeah. What do you think outside of that Shrek wise? I mean, beyond like you said, it could like this is a teaser. Don't go heavy on.
I mean, in story wise, what I get from the teaser, if it has anything to do with the actual movie, is that like Shrek is getting famous out, and they have to. I don't know. They're trying to figure out what to do with the fame or some shit like that.
Fair.
Like there's a you know.
Was that kind of forced thing?
There's a fairy tale like medieval type of internet service, and
Isn't
everybody
that
making
thing
memes.
though, like everyone was kind of getting after Shrek, trying to have him do his celebrity things, do the roar, and like be the guy that they all want him to be as a celebrity, sort of. And then he's like, "Fuck it, fuck you all." Like that's the pressure. That was
kind of, but they probably could handle it a different way. Who knows?
They could. I mean, it's been a few years, but I mean, I'm not again. We don't.
Because also keep in mind, he also I mean, because you said like the daughter, he has 2 other children we haven't seen.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know if we're gonna pair because like, I don't know. They could fix it in the next movie, but like, her eye color is because like the girl her eye color is wrong, and that's why everybody's saying this might be trans kid because I think that eye color belongs to one of the boys.
Everyone jumped urgently. Now that's on the fault of DreamWorks if they forgot what color.
They could fix it for the actual movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think it feels like that's a mistake. That's an inadvertent mistake. It feels like.
All right, so let's get to the elephant in the room. I don't have a problem with the designs.
I do. You're right though, because I think we both talked about this. Fiona.
But yeah, Fiona's weird.
Fiona is just not Fiona.
I mean, these designs are very different. This is not the Shrek I grew up with.
So it's not.
But like,
not that. But I think
for me personally, I never really cared that much for. I understand people who do. I never cared for that much for the look, and I can get used to looking at these characters. They don't look unappealing to me.
No, I don't. Really
they're just different. It's not what Shrek is, but they don't look unappealing. So I can watch a whole movie of this.
Right.
So what were you about to say?
No, but I think the biggest thing is like people have said continuously like, oh, that's what Fiona would say, like because you're like, Mama like it. It's like that's not really Fiona. Like that's not the Fiona at least that again. I'm not trying to do this whole well, I'm a protector of Fiona and Fiona fucking likes and all shit. Like no, I'm just saying from the lens of the character that we've seen from Shrek 1 through 4, unless they randomly pulled the Fiona from the other variant Fiona into like the world that Shrek's in, that wasn't really Fiona. Like Fiona was very much not those mannerisms at all. But it's been 15 years.
I feel like this fits more of the current variant Fiona than the Shrek 4 one because she was like a warrior type.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is I think that this feels like if you pulled that Fiona out of that movie, had her in this world for 15 years, and just did that. Like this doesn't feel like even not classic Fiona, but just Fiona from Shrek 1 through 4 that wasn't in the alternate world.
I mean, I don't hear mine either. Where I can see an older Fiona just being like this, like kind of cheeky. It doesn't really.
Again,
it doesn't really ruin her character. Just like, oh, she's just being funny right now. That's it.
Right. No, I just don't. Right. You can be funny though without I just don't see that. That's. No, I feel you, but you said elephant in the room. Like I don't know, unless you're talking about Eddie Murphy's donkey. Like I don't see. I think this is the biggest diversion of a character in at least a 30-second clip that you could have, because again, that's not kind of her not what I recall at least. Like she's very much like to a degree she's still maybe what I'm misinterpreting is she was prim and proper, and then things kind of start to slide because she is the ogre, and maybe as time goes on, she becomes the ogre.
Well, she's been like a corny mother. That's how I see it.
Cool. That could be it. That's a yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
like
I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Like, but I mean, going on the designs because like
whatever. Yeah.
Like I'm just because like people are comparing to Ugly Sonic, and this is not the Ugly Sonic situation.
No.
Because Ugly Sonic is just unappealing. He's just unappealing, unmarketable. These are marketable designs. It's just like not the Shrek we know. It's a weird change, especially for if you're trying to connect it to the older movies and not fully rebooting it.
Well, especially when you have the old Shrek in the DreamWorks intros, that's kind of funny.
So, I mean, because this is definitely a change from probably because I know the head of Illumination's definitely a producer on this, and he likes things simplistic for marketing sake. So, this is definitely a change from him. But like, I'm not over the moon for a Shrek movie. And honestly, I said this at the end of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I didn't want another Shrek movie. After I saw The Last Wish, I'm like, yeah, give me more Puss in Boots. I'll take a second order of that. And it was like, well, we're just gonna give you the side dish. I'm like, no, I want, please, just give me. I want more of that, please. And they just gave me Shrek anyway. So like, whatever, fuck it, I'll take it. And it's not even in the same animation style as Puss in Boots either. So it's like, okay, sure, I'll watch it.
Yep.
Cause like before I saw Puss in Boots: Last Wish, I was like,
Shrek franchise is dead, and I'm fine.
Oh yeah, well yeah. But like my thought was, if they ever go back to Shrek, I wouldn't mind it. Sure, I'll see another Shrek. But then I saw Puss in Boots: Last Wish. I was like, I don't want Shrek. I don't want Shrek anymore. Just give me Puss in Boots. Stay with this. You have a good trio here. Stay with these guys.
My issue was at the time was that, like, for post Shrek 4 and through the mid 2010s and late 2010s, it's like my issue was less. Like, not only did I not want a Shrek movie, the bigger issue was the development team constantly kept going back and forth in terms of what they want. Illumination was on it, then it was back to DreamWorks, then it was this and that. It's like, there was no locked consistency on it until the last couple of years. And when Puss in Boots did come out, like you said, like, I was vehemently against Shrek, but Puss in Boots sold me.
Puss in Boots 2 to be specific. Unless you really like the first one.
The Last Wish sold me. No, Puss in Boots 1 sold me on the idea that this franchise no longer needs to continue. Puss in Boots 2 sold me on the idea that there is more to dig out of the Shrek universe, and that you could absolutely make a follow-up Shrek.
Sorry to cut you off. How do you feel about Puss in Boots 1? Because I only watched 1 in preparation for 2, and 1 was just...
It came out at the... So, here's the thing. Briefly. It came out at the perfect time. Internet era, cats, all that stuff. And it really dug into that. It does the things that Shrek does well, which is it takes the folklore storytelling, so it has the Humpty Dumpty, it has a couple other things. You have the romance of Kitty Softpaws, or whatever her name is, Kitty Softpaws in there, that starts. And Puss in Boots is a very lovable, like, he's a lovable character, or a character that's fun to watch in general. So it's a solid movie, but it was also at a time when the Shrek universe was tired, and it itself was better than Shrek 3, but it wasn't. It was like right around Shrek 1 for me, and it's like, that's great. That's a great movie for the Shrek universe. But it was the Shrek universe, and I was fine. I didn't need anything else in the Shrek universe, so I was good. Like, that's where it stood. Like, it was 2010 or 2011, whenever the fucking came out. It was like, I'm good. Yeah. Anything else on Shrek, Mark?
No. I mean, again, I never really cared that much for this franchise. Shrek 2 gave me everything I needed from Shrek, and then 3 and 4 happened, and I was like, whatever. I'm not against Shrek, but I'm not excited about it. So if you're gonna keep throwing out Shreks, sure, I'll watch them, but I'm not excited about it. I feel the same about Shrek 5. It's like, I don't feel anything strongly about 3 and 4. They were decent movies. Even at the time, I thought 3 was decent. In hindsight, it's stupid.
It's stupid, but then I watched a couple clips, and funny enough, I was like, wait a minute. I remember why I like this movie. The references are great. The high school moment's kind of funny. Arthur being a fucking wimp and shit, and the stupid ass wizard was funny. It's filler, but it's still fucking funny, and it's still.
Yeah, I didn't hate it when I was watching it.
It still has the perfect sense. Like you watch that movie again, you feel like you're back in like the mid 2000s.
I think the problem was it came after Shrek 2.
Yes, absolutely. Where it had the sensibility, the 2000s era sensibilities and the comedy, but it was also a great story. The story was kind of useless, but the comedy was there. To me, comedy is there. So.
Yeah, and Shrek 4, even though it wasn't as good as 2, I think was a really fun movie. It was
a grand movie with, I think, a better story than 3.
Yeah.
And it gets to the core of what the characters want, and notably Fiona and Shrek. And it makes Shrek kind of reassess how he sees things, and I like that about 4, because you could have dialed it in, and they didn't. So.
But yeah, I'm still waiting for a trailer. Again, this is like it's where that they release this teaser so early.
Yeah, we've got.
When it's like if this was a holiday release for this year, I would like, okay, yeah, or we're gonna get some. Like, it's okay. The backlash doesn't really matter because they're going to show another trailer to give people more perspective. And it's like, because they showed it this year and it's like coming out holiday of next year. Not early next year, holiday of next year. It's like, why are you showing it this early? Because you're getting the backlash. When are you going to follow up on it? Because you can't even do that now.
It's also, there's...
Anytime soon.
My last thing, I think it's also kind of... It's a bit weird because DreamWorks had done such a very good job of being great with its modern content. In fact, they didn't need to lean into the older stuff much anymore. They've done a better job than Disney even at their movie lineups over the past 5 years, being led by Trolls as a trilogy, but notably you had Trolls there, you have Boss Baby there, you have... obviously Puss in Boots being the legacy, but it's almost its own standalone in a way by this point. You have Bad Guys, you have Wild Robot. It's like, there are so many, and now Dogman alongside Captain Underpants like so many years ago, but you've done such a good job of just building away from your IP. You didn't go back to Madagascar. You didn't go back to a dozen different movies that could have needed them, right? Like, you're just now going back to How to Train Your Dragon and all that. Like, but they've built a great original lineup that may not have made a ton of money, but has done a really good job critically. And this one is weird because it's almost like it's not desperate, but it kind of feels that way. Where it's like, remember this? And it just kind of, and it's so, like you said, it's so early that it's like every time if you see that trailer repetitively, it's like, DreamWorks, you're kind of better than this right now. You're a better studio than this, but this is more Universal. But you're better than this. You've done way better. This isn't really you anymore. And like Shrek 4 or 5 is not the definitive thing that people are excited for anymore. It's like the Wild Robot 2. It's Bad Guys 3 if Bad Guys 2 is good. It's gonna be these other movies that are just killing it that people are going to be excited for. So, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once a year, sneakerheads come together for the largest convention this side of the Hudson River. The Sneakerhead Gala. I go by the name of Mustard. Who's ready to party? Please.
We're just going to briefly talk about the Sneaks movie.
Okay, so we saw this trailer during the
the day the Earth blew up.
Oh yeah, put it on screen. Or I'll put it on screen. Oh yeah, you got it. During the Earth blew up, we were seeing it with a group, and like we were just like what the hell is this? Because we never heard of this movie before.
Yes.
And we're just seeing this trailer pop up in the theater, and like I love the reveal. It's like a guy come home and he reveals the shoes can talk, like Toy Story.
Yes.
So it's Toy Story with shoes. What?
You know what's sad is this is still a better idea to animate than what the fuck was that Lego Wasted movie with Pharrell Williams? Brick by brick, piece by piece.
Yeah.
This is still a better thing to This is a better thing to animate in general.
Okay, look, the piece by piece is a better idea and concept. So that in trailer wise, piece by piece looks more appealing than this.
Does it? Well, no, it does look more appealing.
Yeah, we were looking forward to that movie. And then I saw it.
This movie reminds me of... And, sorry, audience, maybe there's two of you, of the two people that watch, maybe some of you love sneakers. This reminds me of the people that, it's like, I don't understand why shoe collection is such a big deal. Because you're supposed to wear shoes, but you guys think that apparently shoes are not meant to be worn. And what you guys do is you just
They're sentient, they can taste your feet.
But I mean, like, but they wear them, but you're supposed to, like, shoe collectors, though, like, they wear them for, like, a little bit, and then, like, they don't wear them at all, and it's like, okay, so then, alright, but then this movie, it's
I get $15 shoes from Walmart every month and a half because I skateboard all the time, and skateboards destroy shoes.
It's like, this could work for that audience, and that's it. Like, there's nothing else really coming out in competition to it. Because by this point, Dogman's kind of faded, and The Day the Earth Blew Up is going to keep rolling until it doesn't make money. So, like, watch, obviously, The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Wow, you sound like somebody who gets poor shoes.
But
what, you get your shoes from discount stores?
I get my shoes from Amazon, bro. I don't know. What was that a joke? I don't know.
Do you remember, like, high school, how people were talking?
Bro, that's
no,
that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't have expensive shoes. He gets his shoes for cheap.
But that's what the fuck this is aimed at these fucking losers that would assault everyone for not having fucking, I don't know, expensive shoes. Even though the only reason they had expensive shoes is because they fucking loved, I don't know, Nike logos and shit, and they like wanted their parents to get that for them for some fucking reason. Like that's the only reason why you had, like, you know, but that was a whole era, was like, of our lives, of every kid's life, is like, they get bullied by the fucking assholes that think that shoes are important. But, like, yeah, shoes are important, but not that important that you have to get the fucking luxury shoes. By the way, that were also made in a fucking sweatshop, you idiot. Like, they're not unique.
I think the only shoes that are important are
durable
shoes that don't break. That's it.
I'm more mad at those people than I am this movie. It's just that this movie is appealing to those people, so I'm kind of pissed.
Okay, so what's weird is, like, the style of the animation they're going for is good.
Yes. Not
the models and designs. That look like crap. But, like, I think the only design that looks interesting is that thief who's big and he has small legs.
Yes.
And he fits through that window.
Yes.
Other than that, like, this whole movie looks like crap.
Again, it's like...
We don't talk, we converse.
Again, is this a bad concept to go after for a movie? No, because there's a chance that you could also make a lot of money off of people that love shoes like this. So you might as well try it. But
this is very disappointing. This movie should be very disappointing to the foot fetish community.
But it is very Toy Story. And, like, and it's not the only time that we've done Toy Story.
They can at least try to appeal to that, because, like, it's about shoes, but everybody's wearing socks.
Oh my god. Alright.
Dan Snyder is going to be really... Quentin Tarantino.
Dan Snyder's going to what?
No, sorry. A non-canceled name. Quentin Tarantino is going to be really pissed about this movie.
Oh, because they're wearing shoes?
No, they're wearing socks and shoes. There's no feet in here.
Fair. Alright, I think we've said enough about this fucking movie, Mark. I'll be honest with you. Like, I just wanted to get this shit, like, we gotta talk about it.
Okay, so we went on for 5 minutes and 20 seconds on this movie. Alright, next.
Alright, we gotta talk about this because, it had its moment. This is revealed.
We can just play a screenshot.
Blossom was constantly stressed.
What is the daylight savings?
Buttercup was constantly rebellious.
So, this was the pilot, or at least the pitch kind of video, the trailer that was for the Powerpuff Girls on CW. The series, I mean, that we all were against for a while, when this was announced years and years back, and it's like, no, don't do this. This is fucking stupid. And some people were defending it like, no, it should get the role. It should get the chance of day. Respect creative. It's like, and then you see this, and it's like, no, do not respect creative.
Oh no, my thing is, well, I didn't want to release, but I did want to see like how bad it was.
And you got to see how bad it was.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh, it's all. Oh my god, it's deliciously awful. It is like, this is everything.
Deliciously awful.
This is everything I wanted to hate.
Yes.
Like, it's just so bad.
This is the type of thing where people that don't like cartoons this is the type of shit that they make.
It's kind of the same reaction as like when they made that Batwoman show on CW.
Yes.
And like the stinger to the trailer was like, I'm not gonna let a man take credit for a woman's work.
No,
like,
no, it's not just that. It's like, it'll be good when it fits a woman. It's
that too. But like, well, I remember she was like, I'm not gonna let a man take a credit for a woman's work. And like, but you're using his stuff.
You're using all of his supplies.
You're using all of his supplies.
Yes. By the way, that Ironheart show is gonna go great. I know that. It's gonna be fantastic.
That's what it is.
It's gonna be killer.
You only have a fucking good action. I don't care. Whatever. I'll try to watch it. I'm watching every Marvel thing, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna watch through it.
But it's like, what is...
I'm enjoying Daredevil. Fucking new episode. There's already a new episode up on Disney Plus. I'm waiting for you to go home for it to finish the shit so I can watch it. Woo! I'm gonna go to Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, I just... Again, this is everything that we talk about the CW being as a shit product. This was back when WB actually had more of a say in CW, no longer anymore. But back when CW was kind of the Warner thing, they really kind of pushed a lot of shit on there. There were some good things, obviously. We talked about the DC era stuff, like I believe Gotham was on there, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Dude, Craig McCracken hated this shit.
You said what?
I think I remember hearing Craig McCracken just hated this shit.
I bet.
But he couldn't do any. But
he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything. Geez. Just like 2016. And like, what was funny is like, well, we're gonna talk about later. Well, I don't know if you have it on the docket for
There you go.
The cartoon Crisis on Infinite Mirths.
I'll note it now so that we can talk about it.
Okay, yeah. Because in that I didn't notice it at first until somebody pointed out, but in the background during the battle between Cartoon Network and Hanna-Barbera characters, 2016 Bubbles pops up on screen, and she gets fucking beat up by a classic Bubbles. I'll show you when we pause this, and in between subjects, but like it's fucking amazing.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because again, like, as a defender before it came out of Powerpuff Girls 2016, because I thought that the shading and the sort of layering of the character design, where they look like they were like stickers, I liked that a lot in the intro at least, and then in the actual show it looked a lot cheaper. I was defending it because it's like you don't actually know what it's going to be yet, but then once it came out, it's like, wow, this is not only a shell of Powerpuff Girls, it kind of loses what made Powerpuff Girls special. And they were just kind of using the shell of the fact that the name is so important. So
my biggest thing is just like, it was just aggressively unfunny and just boring.
It was just boring. It was just boring. Like, not even about the comedy that was non-existent. It just was boring, which is the worst thing you can be. So, yeah, like, Powerpuff Girls has been through a lot. By the way, watch our cartoon chat on Powerpuff Girls, the movie and the series. We talked about it for 2.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like fucking I thought I was gonna talk about like a old cartoon chat about like 2016. That's gotta be old. I don't know if we did one. We probably did. No,
we never did a cartoon chat on it.
Okay,
we probably talked about it in one of those ancient cartoon chats because that was hot topics back then. But yeah, but Powerpuff Girls. I'm glad this didn't exist, but it's kind of good to see behind the curtain, you know what I mean? It's like, let me take a look.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that Batgirl fight scene that leaked? I put on our group chat.
That shit, no. You don't want to, just no. Just no.
Did you see it?
All full coordination, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so I'm just asking, did you see it or not?
Was this new? How long ago did you put it up?
A week ago.
This a week ago?
Yeah, I put it in the group chat.
Mark.
I just showed you the Batgirl footage. It's like, again, I didn't care about that movie, but like I was just as curious like what we missed from it, and like that like this does look like CW slop.
Yeah.
Like they're low tier, like low budget slop.
It makes Madam Web combat look like marginally better somehow, which is an impressive job. Like. And I watched that stuff on YouTube.
Okay, well, Madam Web's combat has more budget, definitely.
Well, it does, of course.
I mean, it's both shit.
It's the fact that Sony put, like hundreds of millions of dollars into these every time. That's funny always to think about.
Can we have $100 from them? They're wasting the money. Just, like, hand me, like, fucking $200? That's not gonna be... Anytime, like, all these studios waste money, it's like, can't they just, like, donate money to me? Like,
That would be very nice. They would say, fuck you. Last thing I want to talk about, Mark, in the news roundup, mixed with trailers, whatever the main title of your... What is it? The title of it again? How was it titleized? What was it?
Oh, trailers?
Yeah, how you do trailers. It was just trailers? It should say trailers on it.
Trailers. I didn't have a name for it. I didn't have a funny name.
Did you do a graphic for it? You did a graphic video.
I didn't do a graphic. I just showed you the, Well, I was just going to put in front of it, I thought it was just trailers, was like the old coming soon from DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
Coming soon.
Yep, that's good.
Coming soon to theaters.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm just going to play that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's copyrighted. Also, it's short.
Talking about coming soon, not without the come part, but coming soon.
Why the fuck?
I kind of leaned in too far, right? My bad. So, I wanted to talk about this because twofold things happened, right? Reportedly, Mononoke, the re-release, 4K IMAX re-release, did tremendous. It made a ton of money at every single theater that they had this in. A lot of people went to this Mononoke re-release. It was absolutely huge. I will say, though, fuck you for charging $25 a ticket for that. At any level. The lowest level you could get was like $25 a ticket. That's awful. That is... Come on. That's really bad. Like, you this should have been... You release it like it's a regular movie, and you re-release it in that experience. But again... What we're finding, as we've talked about with Dune 2 last year, and we talked about a number of times with this IMAX thing, it's that the IMAX thing, if you can get control of the IMAX, you will have an ungodly amount of money made every single theater, like in every single theater that you have your movie in, because the IMAX is premium experience, and you can make a lot of money off of it. So that's what happened here. Simultaneous to that. I think it was either not ChatGPT, but it was like OpenAI made a new AI studio where people can just put a image give it an image, send an image in, upload an image to it, and it will literally just make a one-to-one into Ghibli style. I don't know.
Is it literally called a Ghibli style?
It's called Ghibli AI, and what it does is it will just make the art, and Ghibli artists are absolutely pissed. Because what it does is it completely takes away from all of the work that they had spent for years doing. And instead what ends up happening is it's just...
And it just cheapens it. It just cheapens it.
Yes. So it's very disappointing. So, yeah, something like...
And a lot of these like pictures I've seen is like, this doesn't look like a style like that Ghibli would probably produce. Like,
no, because it's very like people have noticed, eyes are dead, expressions aren't correct, nothing's really lining up, but it's a very light variant of it, and it still does, it's clearly just inspired, and it's been learning based off of clearly Ghibli work.
Yeah.
And so it just steals from them, you know. So, yeah, it's a notable...
Again, I hate AI for the context of art.
That's the biggest thing, is like, it's like, come on, this is ridiculous.
I mean, this is just like, we're just gonna have a ton more of these stories. It's just this AI stuff.
This will absolutely continue, unsurprisingly, but this was an example. This was one of the wider examples that was shared across the board. And I'll just have this on this screen here, where it does a fine. No, it's not amazing, but it still is like. You have it, essentially, right?
Yeah, that was the first one I saw, too. It was like, that I have to be honest, that looks good.
It does. And the problem is, like, what I'm seeing on YouTube also is, again, we remember when we were new to this game, it's like, people just use this, and they're just going to use it because it's available. Like, it's like, they don't give a fuck if it impacts anyone. Like, if it can get you ahead in any way, shape, or form, they're just going to use it anyway. And it's like, damn, come on. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, there's nothing more I can say, but I do hope Ghibli continues to be angry. Probably, I don't know, do something to take it down or something like that. But, like, I know, it's just...
The cat's already out of the bottle.
Yeah,
so now
it's like...
You know.
We're in the AI future. It's just going to keep getting worse. The future I'm afraid of that I know is going to happen is I'm going to see a trailer to a new movie and a new show. I'm so excited for that. That looks gorgeous. I love the animation style. It is amazing. It is completely original. I found out everything about it is AI. Writing, art, sound, voices, it's all made by AI. Well, and I'm gonna be like, fuck.
Well, you did that. You did. You saw that. You just didn't like the idea or the premise or the movie, but it's Wish. We saw it, Mark. All right.
And I loved Wish. We both loved it.
You loved it. That was.
No. I don't want. And again, I don't want to blame AI for Wish because I want to blame a person for it. It feels more.
It fits.
Yes. I want somebody to be blamed. I want somebody to beat up. I don't want to smash. I don't want to like smash their computer. I want to smash a person's face.
Fair.
With my fist.
Fair. This is a reminder before Mark punches people in the face. We're going to take a quick break, but after that, it's all spoilers as we get into our movie discussions coming up.
Imagine there's an unknown virus in the air,
and you're sucking in every single microscopic particle floating around. So good.
There really was an unknown virus in the air. Lethal one?
Our debut movie for our movie discussions in March starts on March 7th. That is Mickey 17. This movie was written and directed by Boon Joon-ho. It was based from Mickey 7, the book by Edward Ashton. Music was by Jun Jae-il. Runtime was over 2 hours, about 2 hours and 17 minutes. It stars Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Stephen Wen, and Mark Ruffalo alongside quite a cool collection of other people. Mark, I saw this as a nice, interesting sci-fi movie.
So was this as good as Mickey 16? And like, what other Mickey movies are canon? Like The Three Musketeers, The Prince and the Pauper? Is Kingdom Hearts canon?
Kingdom Hearts is always canon. It's always canon in the hearts of the idiots, which is what Ruffalo would have said.
And you're one of them. You're all of them.
No, we know a few people where Kingdom Hearts is always in the hearts.
We do.
Literally. It's in the minds and the hearts of those people.
Fucking idiots.
I'm so glad that we're past that. We have to... Now, obviously, we got the teaser for the next Kingdom Hearts like 5 or 7 years ago. I don't know how long ago that's been. But we can just kind of sit there and thankfully never ever think about it until it becomes a
Kingdom Hearts 4 is never coming out.
I hope so.
It just keeps them waiting.
I would love that. Mark, we're not talking about this movie. Let's talk about the movie.
We're talking about Mickey.
Mickey 17. I thought everything about this was perfect when you're on the ship. This idea is interesting, and even before the ship and on the ship, how we approach getting to the point and then getting to the ship, I think is phenomenal. I think we got to give a shout out to Robert Pattinson because he really plays these characters well, even though in the movie we don't get a lot of time to see the different variations.
Yes, good, right? Yeah.
You know, most of them we don't get to really flesh out that much, but he is so interesting because this is the same guy that was in The Lighthouse, even if he's not playing the roles this specific like movie. The Batman, The Lighthouse.
Yeah, he's different than Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, like he is so dynamic that he is one of the most interesting people that can just kind of move around into these roles through voices, through expressions, through movements, how he walks, his energy. It's all visual and you can see it. It's great. Like, he's a phenomenal actor, and it's great to see him leading movies because he can really do a great job with it. You know, but there's other stuff here. Mark, but what did you think about Pattinson and the cast that played in this movie, just the movie in general?
Okay, excellent cast. Even Mark Ruffalo, I think he's charming. He's a fun guy. I wish Marvel would make more use of him, but we don't know about the Hulk's current whereabouts after She-Hulk. Weird. Okay. But like,
why would he be in Captain America, Mark? Why would he be there?
Why would anybody be? Why would anything be in Captain? Where's Skrulls? Where's the Eternals?
All right, back to the movie.
But like, I think everyone's good in this movie, and I thought it's going to be like a laugh out loud comedy coming from the trailer, but like it's just more of it's more of a dry humor, and it's like, it's, even though I wasn't like laughing, I was still very interested, and like the humor just added like a lot of charm to the atmosphere of the movie itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I found it funny, but they're not burst out laughs funny. It's just more of like, Yeah, that's a funny thing.
Yeah,
It's hard to describe the humor of this. It's just like because these are good jokes, but it's like it doesn't make me laugh out loud. But they're not bad jokes.
It's not to use the easy thing of like, oh, it's witty humor, but it's like it's all just usually it's based through dialogue and situational. It's all like he gets left in a certain place, or he's saying a line, and then like he just kind of fades the line out, and then like the room is empty and quiet. There's nothing. Or he's saying something, and then another person says, "What?" And like, there's no. It's just how it's the lack of chemistry that his character kind of fits in certain moments that I think is great. And then when I love when you get to the Mickey 16 and Mickey 17 where you have these two older brother, younger brother kind of scenario. I think that they really did a great job on that point where it does, again, feel like older brother, younger brother, because the mental of one of the Mickeys is completely different than the other.
Yeah.
Which, again, we don't... This is where, again, I want to get into the slight issues. Not to say that there are many, but the notable issue is, number one, we don't get a lot of how different Mickeys interact, because one of the key aspects of this movie is you have this chick that loves Mickey, but we don't realize that one of the reasons she loves Mickey for it is that she gets basically a different dude every time he dies. But it doesn't seem that way. Until
it's mentioned. It's like mentioned like during one of the monologues. But we just during that monologue I just assumed like, oh, that's the way she sees the other Mickeys, but theoretically they're just the same. And then like when we get to this part of the second Mickey is like, oh, this Mickey's actually different from the other Mickey.
Yes. When we get to the point of, oh, like, yeah, he's almost a completely different character, it's like, oh, okay, so she is enjoying not exclusively the idea of Mickey, but the idea of the fact that he is the same, but he's not. You're basically not really sticking to one person, really. You have the looseness of...
I do wish we got more of that, but, like, it's just, like, other than that, like, I did enjoy the world building of the overall setting and the world.
The ship, like, notably, the world they get to is where things kind of slip to me.
I like the not the world they're on. I mean the world of Earth and the ship.
Before they leave.
Yeah.
When they're on the
ship. When they're like the apocalyptic world and like them in that center trying to apply. And I love that shot of everyone in line too.
It's so dystopian and just it feels hopeless.
And my favorite part is
great.
And like I love the storytelling of that of the serial killer who was a duplicate, who was multiple, the first multiple.
Yes.
Like that, like the storytelling of that scene, I really enjoyed.
Absolutely, I think the journey with, I like that there is a following thread of this friend who was played by not Invincible, but Stephen Wynn,
Mark,
who is regularly, he does not give a fuck. And through the whole movie, again, this is the problem where we don't see the different Mickey personalities, because through the whole movie, it feels like it's the same Mickey, and then you get this one Mickey that, like, Mickey 17 or 16, I think it's 16, no, 17. And he is he's psychotic, so he's ready to go after anyone he's ready to get back at all the people that are clearly don't give a fuck about him. Don't take any other interest other than themselves. They're very self-centered. But every other Mickey doesn't do that up to this point. Every other Mickey kind of lets Stephen Wynn's character walk over him. Or he'll say some shit, he'll do some fake sympathy story, and he'll be able to just emotionally manipulate Mickey. Again, this is where it comes down to the fact that, again, we don't get a lot of the diversity of... Again, I said this multiple times. That's the core... one of the core flaws of this movie, where again it's like if we got a little more of this, it would have helped significantly, because then you kind of are able to see a little bit more of the diversity of Mickey itself, what he is as a being, because by the time you get to this alien planet, it all kind of loses steam.
It's from the same director as Parasite. This is not nearly as good as Parasite, but it's still a very good movie. Did you see Parasite?
No, I don't recall if I have or haven't.
Same
year of Everything Everywhere All at Once, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No, that was made by the Daniels.
Not director. I'm saying the same year.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, because it won the Best Picture, so that was the year before.
Year before. Okay.
Or the year before that. I forgot when I saw that movie. But like, because I know that the movie was not in English. It was like subtitles. I forgot the language it was. Probably Chinese or Mandarin or something like that. But like, they had to read subtitles. But like, it was a very good movie. I recommend it though.
Cool.
It's kind of like a thriller, but it has a message.
Nice. No, I've heard great things about it. I just
just haven't
seen it.
If you like this one, you'll like Parasite a lot more.
Cool.
But like this wasn't as good as Parasite, but it was still very enjoyable. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I mostly for the world building, and I think they done that very well. It's just that the last scene when they're on like the weird worm planet. I was like kind of dozing off. It was
the last third of the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't that entertaining, but like, I mean,
they also don't seem to know what to do with that.
Yeah,
once they get there either.
Because that's what they don't seem to know what they do to that story point. But like, it's not that much of the movie. The rest of the whole movie.
Well, the problem is it's not much of the movie, but it's where the movie ends which is why it's such a issue. Is like it chugs the movie to a halt almost, and you're trying to still figure out the Mickeys, but then they want you to care about the aliens and these alien creatures.
I'm still fine with the overall ending. So I'm still fine with the overall ending. It's not like a sour. It's note.
It's still nice.
It's a very slow, lackluster, like couple scenes, and it's like it's not bad, but it's just like not as interesting as the other stuff. It's just like it's just okay, but like the overall movie, I think it's still like very fun. And
again, I like the sci-fi elements here. I liked how lived in the. This is why the ship is so good. I like how lived in the ship feels. There's a lot of character to the ship settings, even though it's only like 3 or 4 rooms and a couple hallways, but it's like it feels lived in. It feels like it exists. It's a real place. And again, like that's where in contrast, like you get off the ship, you're just in this space, in this on this CGI ice planet, and I think that's what slows it down. I like him trying to get back to where he is and the situation that's a little bit complex, and this is all very human as well, like how he's trying to figure himself out and get out of this dire scenario where it's a duplicate situation, and like you really do feel for his humanity in this moment. That's what I like so much, but I think it just gets lost in where it loses itself, and that's where I'll leave Mickey 17 in my opinion. Any other thoughts on Mickey 17?
That's about it.
Okay.
Good movie.
Yeah. It's our first animated feature of March, Night of the Zoopocalypse.
Whoa!
This was directed by Rodrigo Perez Castro and Ricardo Curtis. It was written by James Key and Stephen Hoban, based on the story Zombies by Clive Barker. Music was by Dan Levy. Runtime of an hour and a half.
This is based on something?
Yes, a story called Zombies. Zombies, like zombies, but with zoo. So you kind of get the idea, Night of the Living Zoopocalypse and Zombies. Zombie zoo. Get it? Yeah, it stars Gabby Cosmatis, Scott Thompson, David Harbour, and Paul Sun-Hyung Lee. Mark, this as a film here. Tell me what you think. You're more of a champion of this movie. Not to say that I don't support this movie. I think it's an absolute enjoyable movie. But what did you think?
This movie supports politics I don't agree with, so I don't support this movie.
Mark, we already passed Mickey 17.
But like no, I was never big on this like anime on this movie's like premise like when I saw it in the trailer, but like I did like that like I was attracted by the animation style because the design, the art, the style, the character design.
What you were attracted to because you can't even explain it.
But like I was more like intrigued by the character designs because they're not the usual character designs for like animals or like for other stuff I've seen. It's looked more creative than other stuff. Like at least in other like cheaper indie CG movies. because even though the animation doesn't look all that, in the plot doesn't look all that, it's like okay, I'm willing. Like it's actually doing something. It looks like it's doing something different, and it looks like it's having fun with the designs, like the animation is. So that's why I was interested in it, and we saw the movie, and this was a fun time. There's not really much I dislike about it. It's not like amazing, but like it was just fun, and like I would watch. I would throw it on again, just like because it just goes by. Like I would throw it on again just to watch. It's just like it's a fun, very loony cartoon movie. Just like not.
That's a great name for it. This is a loony cartoon, but animated film, and it does a good job.
Because like
it's cast.
The jokes themselves aren't that funny, but like the visual humor, it's charmful, and I thought it was more funny than the written humor.
And they put the characters in extremely like interesting and fun situations. Notably, I got to shout out the design of the zombies which come off with this gelatin.
Yeah, I like that zombie concept.
It allows them to be a lot more fluid, even though the characters themselves, the character designs already have this fluid style to them. It increases that. It's like you could increase the setting even more, and it makes them look so interesting. Because
like this is like a family-friendly kids movie all the way through. And what I like that's creative about the gelatin zombie thing is like it allows them to like do like horror movie tropes of the zombies, like their body parts coming off without the implications, without even the implications of it being gory.
Yes.
Or painful for like, because you have to guess, like this is a family-friendly movie. These zombies have to turn back into the regular characters at some point.
Absolutely.
So it's like, how does that work if their body parts are just coming apart? But it's like, oh no, their body parts are just pop off and they're just made of jelly and they just pop back on.
Absolutely. It was very toyetic in a way to me.
Because what's more gruesome in an anime movie this year is the implication of a fucking dog having his head sewed on a man. Like that's a glorious implication for a kids anime movie.
I love the fact that they make that just a comedy moment. But agreed though, it does make it extremely like it is hypothetically a very gruesome concept. We talked about this after we came out of the theater. Upon inception, I did think for a second, like, will this be the typical formula? You know, you have a character that's saying like, I don't like where I am here, and you know, I think there's more to this. And
Madagascar, the wild.
But in fact, it goes into a completely different direction than you would expect, and that's what's great about it. Is like you're and not only that, but the setting of the zoo itself means that you have landmarks that are maybe aren't familiar with them, and at times it's a little bit too wide for you to have those landmarks as to where they are yourself. But you kind of get a sense of like you're in a zoo. There's mostly moments where you're kind of familiar, and if they're not familiar moments, these are just cool little areas that you can play with in this idea of a zombie-ish setting in a zoo. I love the sewer area. I love the intensity when they're in that office building, that smaller office building, and the zombies are trying to get in. The beginning is just a lot of fun. Love it a lot.
Like I like that they're also not going for like obvious arcs for like a budget movies, like because usually the obvious arcs is like the character has a want or need, and the arc is they're probably gonna do something selfish for that need. The main character, I mean, and then by the end they learn like I don't really want this need, or I shouldn't be this selfish for this need. Or like a love interest convinced them to like change their ways or something like that. But like the character, there's no love interest in that, and also the main character is like her arc is she's just ignoring advice from her grandmother, and I was like, okay, that I like that. Right. That's different. That is definitely different. I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, like you have all these character tropes that you've seen in other. If you've seen, like, let's say this is a great entry point. Let's say you haven't seen this before. It's like, this genre before, and you're a kid. It's like this is a perfect day one. You know what I mean? Like,
the movie itself makes fun of that these tropes pre-existed before.
Exactly.
So
you're talking about like they have a lot of fun with the characters talking about like, oh, this is typical of this happening. This is typical of this point in the movie. This is going to go on here. And even by the way, when you have the big bad creature that's all together, it goes in a direction that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
And they have reference to a lot of movies. Like, there's references to The Thing. There's references to Alien.
Yeah.
There's other references to other, like, zombie horror movies. It's like, it's just having fun with itself. It's not top shit. But, like, it's also, like, it's just having fun with, like, these movies pre-existed, and this is a reference to it.
It's a great movie to enjoy.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this.
Just because, again, like, if you are new to the... This is a great, like...
I don't think you need to be new. I think you just, like, even
if, like, I think what this movie is obviously, I think, trying to do is, like, it's a great... You can enjoy it even if you're not a kid, number one, and that's obviously one of the best things, but number two,
we're not kids.
if you are a kid, and you don't, and let's say you are a parent that's let's say you're a parent that's protective of your kid watching some horror movie, this is a great place to start as a safety net, because it's not so insane. You're not showing them, like you said, Alien at age fucking 5 or 6. It's like, no, this is...
I hear about kids watching those anyway.
I hear that too. I hear there are people that we know that are like, yeah, my kid watched Dragon Ball Z, like, at age...
You know, these kids love these horror games, like Friday Nights and Freddy's, and, like, they like all these horror games. Yes. And they be watching Let's Players play these horror games.
Well, that's because the parent doesn't stop them, but, yeah. That's the...
Like, my 3-year-old niece, she loves all this horror stuff.
3-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, she watches all this YouTube shovelware junk that's probably AI generated of, like, all this horror stuff. Mark. It's awful. Like, she's watching, like, this guy is like, it was like, oh, Chucky is having an affair with Megan. And it's like, what is this garbage?
I can't say words, Mark, or it'll be insulting. So I can't say words.
Well, then pause it and get my reaction. Yeah. Pause it right now.
Night of the Zoopocalypse, ladies and gentlemen.
Pause it right now.
Yeah.
I'm pausing it. No, this is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's just fun to get on.
Absolutely.
Fun to watch.
Yeah. And again, like, you're gonna love it just by looking at the expressions. Again, this is some of the best things about...
Fun visual humor, yeah.
This is the best stuff. This is the best reason why you animate, instead of just doing some live-action adaptation of a movie that Mark will talk about later. This is why you do animation. Because, again, you're able to really push the expressiveness and have a lot of fun with it, and really create worlds and craft worlds. We're going to go ahead and move into the next movie. The Plankton movie. It is live. It's real on Netflix. This was directed by people. I have the list. I don't think I want to... You guys, look.
It was directed by SpongeBob people. We're good. Get out of here.
Runtime is 84 minutes. If you want to waste your time, watch this movie. We're going to talk about it. It's not good. Guys...
Look up SpongeBob. It was made by them. Fuck.
Yeah, look it up and then watch the first 4 to 5 seasons. Mark, I think that it's interesting how this is called the Plankton movie when it has nothing to do really with Plankton. It's all about his wife.
It was about the relationship between...
It's about the relationship, and I like that.
It's about Plankton. It's not about Plankton taking over the world.
It's about how Plankton impacts his wife. And I understand that, but call it the fucking Karen movie then. This was the Karen movie. This was not the Plankton movie. Because, like...
Oh, that wouldn't sell. Just call it the Plankton movie.
But, see, that's what I'm saying. So, like, and I understand what they're doing, and you need to do this with... You think you need to do this. But there's a variety of reasons why it's like, this is just not the Plankton movie. If this was the Plankton movie, we would actually have fully centered on Plankton.
I disagree. I think it's centered on Plankton and Karen. Like it is about Plankton going through an arc of like just caring some more, because Plankton is there for most of the runtime of this movie, for most of the screen time. So I mean, it's about Plankton, but just not the way you want it to be. Not the way I want it to be either.
No.
But it is about Plankton and Karen.
I mean, the Sandy Cheeks movie is much more about Sandy, and it's front and center with Sandy the entire time, outside of the brief villain moments. But it's all about Sandy and her family. You could, if you're comparing, and the closest comparison is that.
Yeah, but like it is about Plankton, but just about Plankton's relationship with Karen. It's not about this subject with Plankton. This is the subject we're focused on with Plankton.
This movie was ass. It felt like a waste of time. And
I was very because here's the thing.
You were excited? Is that what you're about to say?
Yes, because modern SpongeBob is hit and miss. There are I've been I still keep up with cartoon reviewers and when they especially on YouTube and Twitter and stuff when I hear about there's a good SpongeBob episode I look into it usually.
Yes.
I don't keep up with modern SpongeBob. I don't watch it. Like I watch modern Simpsons or sometimes I go through modern Family Guy, and modern South Park. But if I hear there's a good episode, I'll look into it. And there's some good episodes of modern SpongeBob. They've most recently been having a lot of episodes that focus on just a trio of Mr. Krabs, Squirt, and SpongeBob, and just those three, and not with Sandy or not with Patrick in it, just those three. And those are some good episodes because that's a fun trio. That's a fun trio of characters. Yeah. Honestly, there should just be a movie of just those three, and I was hoping this Plankton movie would just be as good as those modern episodes. I don't think you're never gonna get as good as the first SpongeBob movie. And I don't think, this is a direct to Netflix, direct to streaming. So I don't think it was even gonna be as close to as good as the second movie, even though that wasn't great. That was still it had its fun moments. But I was hoping for some enjoyable jokes, which all I need. That's all SpongeBob is, just a series of gags. It's a loony cartoon. But there's only a few gags that are oh, that's pretty funny. It reminds me of this gag from Old SpongeBob. But other than that, I think the writing wasn't very good. I did enjoy the parts of the lore that they brought back. And then they retconned a major part of the lore, which is, for me, even though it's SpongeBob and I shouldn't care about lore.
No. You should, but then they've already retconned a lot.
I know, but it's SpongeBob and I shouldn't really care about lore. But, they're going to the trouble of, bringing back all this other lore. Even, to the point in the beginning, they bring back Plankton's dog from one of the newer seasons. And I was that's a weird reference, too. But then they just retcon, I think one of my favorite specials from the modern season, which is Friend or Foe, which is SpongeBob, it's Plankton and Mr. Krabs are kids, they grew up together, and they found the, and they used to work together, and they found the Krabby Patty formula by fighting over the batter, gotcha. And Mr. Krabs got one half of the paper that had all the ingredients for the perfect patty batter, and Mr. Plankton was just left with chum. Oh. But, it gives you, oh, they had a history. Right. In this movie, it's retconned to where, Plankton was always with Karen the whole time, and they just happened to walk inside the Krusty Krab one day. And Plankton, after, he didn't even eat a Krabby Patty. He's after witnessing, people coming to the Krusty Krab and enjoying themselves, he's oh, this is how I take over the world. And it's
food.
That's a weird conclusion to get to. You could have, written a better way to get to this.
Yes, and again, this is where, again, I understand the idea. It's he's supposed to think more, but the entire movie makes him out to be, he is an asshole. Yes. But the entire movie, instead of being able to enjoy Plankton as he is, or as the character is, we don't get to journey with Plankton. It's more about how fucking abusive and shitty he's been to a much smarter being in his life for almost the entirety of his entire career. That is the movie. Is just that he is a shit person to one of the smarter people in his life after the one thing that he helped with briefly, and it's okay, all right. I don't.
I mean, that's always been the gag with Plankton, and
I just think that
Karen is the smarter one, and she can actually get shit done, and don't just listen to him, and Plankton just does his own thing and doesn't listen to Karen, and blows up in his face.
Yes.
I think one of my favorite jokes in when the, I don't know if this was from an earlier season or a later season, but Karen had the Krabby Patty formula because and it was holding back from Plankton if she if Plankton gave her a good anniversary gift, she would give her the Krabby Patty formula. And how she got it was she just walked into the Krusty Krab, ordered a Krabby Patty from Squidward, And as soon as she got the crack patch, she just like shoved it in her monitor and just got the formula that way.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And like I like that joke because she's like, she just did it just like that.
She just did it. Yeah.
But like it's, again, a lot of the humor in this movie, like a lot of joke gags in this movie, either like it references old gags that were done better back then, and it's not as good done as well. It's not okay. So the thing about SpongeBob, what I like is
also SpongeBob's in it, and again, like that's another thing. This is not a Plankton movie. This is I understand there's a mandate if it's a SpongeBob movie that SpongeBob has to be in it. This is not a Plankton movie. This is his wife, Karen, and his rivals fry cook, SpongeBob, and they share a solid amount of time in this movie, and like it's rare that it's exclusive.
I'm not trying to defend this movie, but I just
you have a love for the modern shit that I just don't.
When it's good, because there is still misshit.
I just didn't realize this was going to be a fucking debate about this movie. I thought we were both at the level of this.
No, I'm saying this is a Plankton movie. I just think this is done bad.
This is done horribly.
I know, but I would still say this is a Plankton movie. Just not done well.
It is an awful Plankton movie because it doesn't. It's like the Garfield movie.
But my thing is, I think it focuses on Plankton.
It is the Garfield movie, which is not fucking Garfield. It is everyone around Garfield, and he's just in it, and that's what this is. It's Plankton, the movie, and he's just in it, and but now more of it is that it's his fault, but the movie is just that he's a fucking asshole.
Well, okay, so
that's the whole thing.
Here's what I like about SpongeBob. This movie is missing. So the best thing about SpongeBob and why when it's written good, why it works, is the character dynamics are funny. Like I just mentioned, the dynamics between Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and SpongeBob, it's very funny. Because, you have, Squidward who's just,
tired of this shit.
Who's tired of SpongeBob, and Mr. Krabs who's just greedy.
Yes.
And just throws SpongeBob into shit. And, when they're all together, it's just, you have Mr. Krabs, combating with Squidward because he doesn't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Krabs like, you're doing this for me money. Yep. And SpongeBob is going along with it. And and I love the dynamic between SpongeBob and Mrs. Puff, where Mrs. Puff has an anxiety attack every time she's with SpongeBob. The dynamic of SpongeBob and Plankton, usually when they're in episodes when they try to have to work together, like the second movie, it's very funny where SpongeBob will just constantly misunderstand Plankton.
Yes.
And because of the misunderstandings, Plankton constantly gets hurt because of it.
Inadvertently.
Which is in this movie, but the jokes aren't done as well as those episodes or even the second movie. And the dynamic between Mr. Krabs and Plankton is also fun. It's just you don't get these dynamics in that movie. Squidward, who usually has the best dynamics with these characters, barely in it. You don't really get much interaction between Plankton and Mr. Krabs. Even Karen.
Well, that's the Karen I wanted to mention with you. It's you meant that's the biggest point here. It's the dynamic between him and his wife. It's that's not fun. That's fucking depressing. And even if the joke is supposed to be that, well, she loves him anyway, it's no, we've seen these two together the entirety of the SpongeBob franchise, and even if that means that in reality it's only been 5 minutes in their world, it's been 30 for our world. It's just fucking depressing. It's you don't like this, and your husband doesn't give a fuck what you do, and he has to literally see every variation of you to then awaken to realize that you are being treated like shit, and maybe he will recognize that, but probably won't. It's that's not fun. That's not fun at all. There's nothing funny about that. There were some funny marriage humor jokes in the beginning, but it became fuck, that sucks for Karen.
I didn't like watching it because again it was
it just sucks for Karen.
And it was I know Plankton's supposed to go through an arc, but it's just you really kind of just don't want to follow Plankton, especially for what he does. Karen just what I also don't like is she turns the chum bucket around and make it a good restaurant.
She gets
which
it
is
set. Yeah.
That defeats kind of the dynamic of the rivalry because the point of the chum bucket is the chum is unsellable. It is an awful product. Nobody wants it. That's why the chum bucket is. It just never works. And Karen made a way to make it work, and it's like it kind of ruins things because they can just go back to that. Like, didn't Plankton kind of succeeded because some episodes have the plot of like Plankton found a way to make the chum bucket sellable.
Yes.
And and for a movie that's just like trying to bring back certain continuities, and it's like they're ignoring that, and it's like you could have thought of a different way for him to like not to like abuse Karen, because like it just like so you kind of like defeat the dynamic of the Krusty Krab versus the chum bucket, and then you make Plankton just like very unlikable in the scene where he just destroys the chum bucket for no reason.
He just destroys it, yeah.
Because he only wants to succeed via the Krabby Patty formula, which doesn't really make any sense in terms of the character. I know it's a fucking cartoon, and
but
they
these
treat it as like
threads that that's all. It's just that even if it's a cartoon, there are threads. Like we have a podcast cartoon chat, so it's like we know that there are stories that carry through animation that do have threads that should be followed if you're going to be consistent, and this just fails at it. And again, it's just an example of how far, not that SpongeBob has been really great for the past 15 years. I understand that there are some selective areas where it's great, but realistically, after like the first 4 seasons are where, to me, that's SpongeBob. The rest, I, as a kid, still followed it for a number of seasons, and then and then I would check on it in my early teenage years, but after that I was done. Like there's no, like it doesn't exist as a property that I care about outside of the fact that it brings nostalgia if I watch an earlier season.
And again, going to this movie alone, it's just like I was saying, the dynamics. The only dynamics they focus on is Karen and Plankton, which it's not really. It's that's what the movie's about, but it's not really that entertaining or interesting. And SpongeBob and Plankton and the writing between them and their humor just like not really as funny as the past times they worked together. And like then you have like the new group of characters, the Gal Pals, which is just
so
like
that has not existed, and it would have been very helpful if that was in the Sandy Cheeks movie, by the way. Like preferably, this variant is a lot better if it was in. This itself would have been a great movie. This concept of this trio with Karen sounds like a much better concept for these characters than like it not existing before.
But these characters being grouped together, they're not using their character dynamics or like they're just the same character together because like it doesn't feel like a crossover between these characters because like they're not really written as like their dynamics are bouncing off. Mrs. Puff is just serious. She's not having anxiety attacks around SpongeBob, and like Sandy.
But they wouldn't. They're comfortable together. That's the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
And like
it's like it's a girl team, and they're comfortable together.
And like Sandy's still a straight person, but like she's just like, she doesn't really have any funny moments or kind of really inventy, sciencey moments. And Pearl's just there. Because like her dynamic, which her existence is to give steaks to Mr. Krabs with her whining and being a teenager.
Right.
And so she's just without the dynamic of Mr. Krabs, she's just there.
I still think it works because again there are different energies when it's a group of.
I think it can work. I don't think it. Yeah.
And again, without the stressor of SpongeBob being in all of their lives at that moment, they're going to be different people. Of course. I
think it can work. I just think it's kind of boring what they do with it.
I didn't think it was necessarily boring. I just thought if you're gonna do this, just push it toward this and make a. If you wanted to do this, just make a female team movie with this team because there's potential there. Like fine, I wouldn't mind a story of these 4 together on some mission if you really maximized what they could do. What their characters are.
And the best traits of their personalities, honestly.
And bring out the best.
Because they weren't really funny. They weren't really doing anything funny.
No, but it wasn't meant to. I think it was just relatable.
I think it could have been. I watched SpongeBob for humor.
It was more relatable. I think early SpongeBob was funny, but it was also the relatability, almost like regular.
Through humor.
Well, yes, partially through. Yeah, it's like mostly through humor. Yes, we're talking about the. Dude, do you think they give a fuck? Do you think that the writing team of the fucking Plankton movie thought about it relatably through fucking laughter? I think they really thought we should have them have a girl moment. not out of humor, but because she needs it. And I think that's what the fuck they thought. And it's like, it's not funny. They just thought, fuck it, we'll do it. And I think that's what that came from. And if that's the writing team that decided to make a girl team for like a SpongeBob variation girl team, then fine. But if you're going to do it without comedy, then do it with their strengths.
Because, again, my best example is like all these three have a certain dynamic with SpongeBob. When SpongeBob is there, they just
fucks
sort of...
everything.
They just ignore him, and when they acknowledge him, they just shrug.
Yes.
When, there probably be more dialogue about, like, SpongeBob stop being such a fucking weirdo. And then, another dynamic is, what's funny is, like, Patrick and SpongeBob together can be funny. Like the fucking first movie. But when Patrick shows up later, he's just sort of there. He's just another SpongeBob. And it's just sort of nothing.
Right.
And again, like, the humor from SpongeBob a lot comes from the dynamics between these characters. These are classic characters. This is the reason I will still check in on SpongeBob when I hear it's good, because when they get the dynamics right, it's a very enjoyable cartoon.
Past tense was a very enjoyable cartoon.
Fuck you. There's good episodes. I told you about the...
Again, you can find a fucking diamond in the rough. That still means that you were in the fucking rough. Get out of here.
Yeah, but those cartoons are still good.
Diamond in the rough means you were digging through a pile of shit.
Okay,
until
so...
you find the rough. You find the diamond. That doesn't mean that you fucking had a great
I didn't
time.
say the whole season was great. I didn't see it new SpongeBob.
So then it was.
What the fuck is your argument here, dude?
If the point being, if the majority of it is not, if the majority of a season is not good, then that means if it's 6 out of 10 episodes are not good, then that means the majority is bad, which means it was, past tense, was good, but it wasn't this
I was
season.
talking about the Pacific cartoons. I didn't say the season.
Okay.
You just want to make an argument out of nothing again.
I'm not making an argument out of nothing. You're trying to say, well, SpongeBob's still good, guys. I'm checking.
I didn't say that. I said those episodes when it is good. You fucking. I said when it. Listen to my words. Read my little lips. Like when I say when it is good, those episodes are good.
Yeah, when it's good. Diamond in the rough. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but you're trying to come up. You just want to insult it. You're just like,
I do, because it's not great.
You haven't even seen those episodes I watched.
I don't need to. I'll just watch.
Yeah, you always just fucking. Oh, I don't need to do. I'm just gonna fucking rag on shit I don't see. Because it looks bad.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Do you think that 2024 season of SpongeBob was killer? Fuck no. All right. Like, sorry, writing team. You can fucking shoot me in the head later. I don't know that. You're right.
I saw it, like, I didn't. Keep in mind, I only watched the episodes that I recommended. There's probably other good episodes in that season. There's probably a majority of good episodes in that season. I just haven't watched them.
I bet it's phenomenal.
I just looked at the episodes people were talking about the most.
Understandable.
Because I didn't hear about the whole season being bad. I just hear that there's still a couple of bad episodes.
Right. So the content is already filtered out from the trash. Like the trash is already filtered out of your search engine.
Shut the fuck up! You just want to insult me. Look. There's good episodes because my point is when SpongeBob is good with the character dynamics. When it is good, it's because of those character dynamics.
Agreed. Moving on.
Finally, get fucking agree.
Would you kill for me, George?
Black bag.
Whoa, okay. Sorry, let me redo this. The African American bag.
Talking about March 14th, we moved on from the 7th into the 14th. Black Bag, spy, thriller. This again, March 14th, directed by Steven Soderbergh, written by David Coep. 94-minute movie, which uses its time very well. Stars Michael Fassbender, Kate Blanchett, Pierce Brosnan, Marissa Alba? Right?
Yeah.
Tom Burke, yeah. So, look. This, to me, is if it's not a perfect movie, it's damn close to me. I think it's paced great.
Yes.
I think every moment, I'm going to actually rewatch this. Guaranteed.
When did you see it?
This week. I saw it this week. But I'm going to rewatch it again, probably Friday or Saturday. Because this film, it's like there's so much that you can catch. And it's not like a Knives Out thing where blink and you'll miss it. You know, it's like, oh, you need to really... But the acting on everyone, and every actor in this movie that's in the main focus is phenomenal. You know, like, and I love the way that this movie presents everything. You know, you're getting only a week. Usually, obviously, there are movies that spend a day with characters. Sometimes this spends a week, and I love how every day you get this great font, and it chops the days up very well. There's I think Wednesday only gets used. There's only about 3 minutes in Wednesday. There's only about 3 minutes of a scene in Wednesday where they're talking before she leaves for the flight, or she leaves for dinner after dinner, and it's great because you don't need to. And not every day needs equal time. But what they do with every single day is they build this journey with these characters so well that you're on the ride. You're curious what's going to happen. You feel some sort of stakes are involved. And I also have to shout out the trailer for kind of misinterpreting everyone on what the movie will be, because it gives an impression like it's going to be these two are going to might murder each other, but that's not the movie. The movie's not about these two characters are going to go out and murder each other, but the impression you get from the trailer is that these two will do that, potentially. But in fact, that's not what happens in the movie, and I love so much about the mind games that are being played here. The marriage itself, how they see each other, all of it. And I love the surrounding team, the team that's around them that are under them or alongside them, and then you have the leader guy like Pierce Brosnan. So, Mark, what did you think about this movie?
Really very interesting, fascinating movie. Really good spy thriller. I pretty much agree with everything you just said. You kind of took it away. The only thing I have to say is I wish that dinner party scene was a little bit longer, or probably the whole movie if it could be.
The whole movie could have been that dinner scene. Because this movie is 94 minutes long. We've seen 2.5 hour long movies. That dinner sequence could have been. Now it would have been a really long 90 minutes or 2 out 90 minutes, but because you can just feel everyone's acting is just 10 out of 10 throughout.
I love the mystery aspect, and everyone is holding back something.
Yes.
And it's you just kind of put pieces together, and just things come together by the end.
Yeah. And I wish I could see this movie again blind. But even then, I want to watch this again just for the acting strengths here. This is a very simple movie, too. It's not, what I love is this isn't, even though, they have a little note about a nuke being out, a nuke being at risk, that's not the focus, really, of the movie. The focus is not about that. That's an Maxie, come on. Stop. That's not the focus of the movie. You know what I mean? That's just it's in the background. And you know how many movies would gravitate to that and just kind of that's gonna be the focus. It's no, it still stays front and center on these two characters in this world of espionage. You know? And I think it feels it's a breath of fresh air because again, everything's filmed also so well. You get some great reverse shot. I remember not the therapist, the psychiatrist, whoever she is, the wife sits down, and then you get the therapist or psychiatrist, and there's a lot of great framing where the shot it's above them, it's above the therapist, you can still see the therapist, it's a little bit wide angle, and then you see the wife, and then reverse shot, same thing, and you get the full expression, you get the body language, you get the it's so good. And it's again, there's a lot of trash out there where it doesn't frame well, nothing works great. It's but this is just clean and efficient in the way that it does it. And that's, again, very much like our main character, played by Michael Fassbender, who is that clean, efficient guy that kind of is just this mental, he's not mental in a crazy way, but he's mental in such a intuitive way, I loved this movie from beginning to end. I mean, this is... Even just the colors, the colors on, we're looking through the trailer that's circulating, but the colors on the walls, the way that it's lit, there's certain things. Did you have was your audio, by the way, at your theater, was the audio, did it seem different, mono or something?
I saw this at Harbor East. My audio was fine.
Your audio, did it felt like a standard movie?
Yeah.
What's interesting is our projector had an issue running, so it was kind of blurry during the previews. And so someone came in and they did maintenance on it. And what was interesting was, like, while they were fixing it, number one, they could skip through all the previews if they wanted to, of course. Like, the previews are a separate package. And it was like, wow, okay, well, that feels different.
Harvard East just has shorter previews.
Yeah, because they only get select movies.
Which messed me up, like, when I went to see, I'm not gonna talk about the movie, but, like, when I went to go see Death of the Unicorn, I came a little bit late, so I just got in time for, like,
just
a minute of the opening right before it gets to the logo.
Oh, good, nice. You still got it. But what was cool was when they fixed it, because it took them about 10 minutes to fix this. When whoever fixed it, the lights, all the lights were off now.
What theater you saw this at?
Cinemark Towson. They had a little issue, but all the lights in this theater, and this is a very premium theater, but all the lights were now off. They did not go back to this lighting where some of the lights on the side are on. You know what I mean? Like some theaters were. It's like no, lights were
oh, that's cool.
All off.
I wish I was.
And then the audio was like something was missing with the audio. It sounded like not that it was missing any. Like it felt like it was in mono instead of like stereo. So it felt like an old timey movie where like the audio is like not bad.
That's the only time. That's the old timiness effect I don't want.
But like no, but the music was still.
I like my sound. I like my sound design.
No, absolutely, and there was still great sound desigm. But when the dialogue was spoken, it was notably in the dialogue sequences where it sounded like there was a bit off of audio where it sounded like a movie from the 50s.
Sorry, wrong. I like my sound environmental.
No, of course, like you gotta love Oppenheimer. Sound design to a T, 10 out of 10. Like, yeah, but it felt like I was watching a movie that was released in the 70s or 60s. And that's kind of what this movie kind of goes after in terms of how it's so limited in its locations. It's just it's in the dining room, it's in the bedroom, it's in the office, and you get a few outdoor areas, and that's it. And I love that. This is one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I love the performances. I don't want to speak any more on this, but I could. Everything is on edge, like you said, Mark, before. Like you're just trying to see who's gonna spill a little bit here and there. Yeah, and I love the commitment between those two.
These type of movies aren't my. Oh, go ahead.
But last thing is Pierce Brosnan. He of course was James Bond. This feels like a movie. This is like what James Bond would be doing. His James Bond would be doing if he was still alive, but he was old. It's like this feels like a what Pierce Brosnan as James Bond would actually be doing, which is just lead it. He'd be the lead now, kind of overseeing everything and doing his own thing as a spyish type guy, and I like that again.
These type of movies aren't usually my favorite, but like this was great.
Yeah,
I mean, this probably
plus it helps that it wasn't 2 hours. Yeah, 90 minutes. Love it.
Oh, and it was quick.
Yes,
it's probably not like one of my favorite movies of the year, but I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go ahead and move on in a second.
Who's there? Get it off me! Get it off me! Get it off me! Get it off me! Oh, is it over?
Mark, we got a great one. It's the day the earth blew up. I want you to take this over. You've been waiting.
Not as good as a Plankton movie, but okay. So next movie. Laughing. You're laughing.
Dude, fuck that movie and fuck Modern SpongeBob.
It could be hidden. All right, but
go
like,
ahead. I'm sorry, I had to, you know.
But god dang, I was looking forward to this movie for the longest time. This was announced in production as there was like 3 Looney Tune movies in production around the same time. It was this, Bye Bye's Bunny, and Coyote vs. Acme. And then this was in constant development, and I was looking forward to this because Looney Tunes was making a comeback. Nobody really saw it, and Cartoon Network or Boomerang barely aired it, but there was this in 2015, 10 years ago, there was a show called Wabbit, and it was trying to harken back to original Looney Tunes. And to the point of the second season, they just did more cartoons that are not just Bugs Bunny, and it was called New Looney Tunes, which is the animation wasn't on par with like old Looney Tunes. It was still cheap, but like they tried, and it was still pretty good for what they did.
Right.
And then when HBO Max was new, they made the Looney Tunes cartoons, which arcing back to the old art style, like the freaking Bob Clampett days, and like the humor is just really just A1, just on the money. It's like it can be bundled in with those classic top tier Looney Tunes, those newer HBO Max cartoons,
right?
And they're like even like it's more there's a lot of them, and it's more hit than miss, and even the misses are still enjoyable and still charmful. And so I was really looking forward to a whole original movie of that. And things were looking dire when Acme and Coyote was originally was originally like thrown away as a tax write-off
for 2
currently it's back now
for 2 straight years. We are now recording, and it's back.
Yes.
This is a good time.
But like, yeah, originally it felt doom and gloom.
It felt very doom and gloom. Again,
but like this was still alive. It was just being shopped around, and Ketchup Entertainment picked it up.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I think the status of Bye Bye Bunny is dead.
Well, what was interesting about this movie, Day of the Look, which is like this had when it got out to the market, it was like it already was ready to go. Like we got
a whole scene.
It got approved much quicker. Like it was like, oh, okay.
We also got a whole scene that was like animated, like it was unfinished, but was still animated with like animatics. Right. Not even storyboards, just like whole finished animatics. And because we didn't even get that with Coyote, and we don't even have that with Bye Bye Bunny. Mm-hmm. I think Bye Bye Bunny might be dead. We haven't heard anything about that.
No, it's so unfortunate, but it is what it is.
But yeah, I made sure to get a whole group together for this one because
that was fun.
Looney Tunes were always made. Those old Looney Tunes shorts were always made for the theater because they're made theatrically to show before movies, and I always wanted to watch Looney Tunes in the theater. And we finally get a fully 2D original Looney Tunes movie in a theater because the only other time they're in a theater is for Space Jam and Back in Action. I like Back in Action, but like it's still not the Looney Tunes I want.
Excuse me, Space Jam 2.
Yeah, I said Space Jam. Space Jam has a series.
Oh, okay.
Space Jam 6. Warner Bros. Is currently working on another Looney Tunes project. That could be Space Jam 3.
It could be.
So.
Bill Cosby.
Who's a hot like fucking...
Harvey Weinstein.
No, who's a sports player?
Patrick Mahomes.
Huh?
Patrick Mahomes.
Is he controversial?
No. He's the most popular...
It's going to be a football movie with Michael Vick.
You like how you just went, I'm going controversial. Fuck you with your answer. I'm going controversial.
This movie's fantastic. But this movie's fantastic. It's really funny. The animation is... even though it's like... Even though it is rigged... rigged...
Maxie, come on.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it is rigged animation, as in like, puppetry, flash type animation, they're very stylized with it, and it's like you barely notice it. It feels like it's like a cell made.
Absolutely. Again, this is a
cell made anime. Like the way Daffy talks, fucking my camera. But the way Daffy talks just has so much expression.
Yes.
Like especially that clip of when they're building the house and him talking to that lady. Like his mouth just has so much movement.
It's
like
yeah.
And I'm just
you said this when we came out the theater. It felt like this had been sitting. This was in the 90s. Like this was just there. Like in the height of Kids WB, in the height of like Kids WB and Cartoon Network and all that stuff in the mid to late 90s with Space Jam and everything. It feels like this was just just sitting there on a shelf. And they just went and you put the VCR in. That's what this feels like. It's like it doesn't feel like there's. It's impressive.
And just the same thing like I like about the HBO Max shorts, because like with the art, because the art in those shorts are fucking gorgeous. They have the best people. I don't know who they. I don't know who they got on it, but they got the best people on it.
That's awesome.
Same thing with this movie. That background art is.
It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
And yeah,
some of the best art I've seen
Farmer-
in like a 2D
Farmer Jim
animated
would be
movie
proud,
recently.
man. Farmer Jim would be proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even like why that's what I like about he's a funny joke too because he is like he's made like he's a like art of a background character or like
Yes.
but like he's just like animated as if he's just art as he's just a painting.
It's ridiculous. Some of these stand-ins where he's just standing there, happy over. Yeah,
That's one loony duck.
Yeah, like this was an absolute gem of a film.
It's funny.
We've got to.
There's so many great jokes.
Got to appreciate Ketchup for picking this up when Warner Brothers was putting it down. But yeah, that's the thing as well. Is like there's just great humor here and just great dialogue between the characters. There's a lot of natural chemistry dialogue as well. That's just there. And you know, Porky Pig is just kind of just I love the scenarios that he finds himself in always.
Well, like the because like I was talking to friends before when this movie was coming out, and they were surprised like why is Porky and Daffy getting a movie before Bugs Bunny? And because like well they were a pre-existing duo before Bugs Bunny existed, and they're a great combo. I think their cartoon honestly I think their older cartoons together are funnier than most of the Bugs Bunny cartoons. They're just a funny comedy duo because, especially with this type of Daffy, like the loony insane screwball Daffy.
That's what's great about this film.
You want to pause it?
What's up? You're live.
But like yeah, those other cartoons are really funny. The Porky and Daffy one. Cause also what I like about those old Screwball Daffy is great with like Porky. Because Porky's a straight man, who's usually like kind of sometimes clumsy, but like he usually and nervous, but he usually tries to focus on things, and then Daffy just like is very crazy and he's like very misunderstanding, and through his misunderstandings, Porky just it's like the consequence of slapstick violence on him.
I love how this movie handles that too. Like again, like it's just in his DNA. It's in Daffy's DNA. It's like you're not gonna ever take it out of him, and it's an inevitability. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It's like, but you just have to help him apply it in a way that's going to help the overall whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way that this works, because that chaos and the loony actions around it, it's inevitable anyway. Like because that's who he is. And again, I love that instead of it being like, this
movie actually like gives them kind of an emotional core. It's like it makes you care about their friendship. You see them grow up together. You see them like kind of like you see Porky having to betray Daffy, and this like Daffy kind of lose trust in Porky. Right. And they're like this is like kind of the first time they sort of kind of do something like that, or just like focuses on like the stakes of their friendship.
Absolutely. And you said this was...
this movie just handles that really well.
What? And you said the female pig was in Baby Looney Tunes, was that right?
Oh, Martin said that. That's where he knew her from. Petunia Pig existed for a long time.
She did? Okay. I didn't know it. So.
She did. She was in some of the older cartoons. Because funny enough, she was a token female Looney Tune before Lola Bunny. So I remember when...
oh, no.
When there was like a tie-in to McDonald's, like, I think it was before the 90s. Yeah. They had like...
Damn, you're that old? You're before the 90s?
No, that's what I remember looking up shit. That's why I found it.
Guys. He's not that
but
old.
like, McDonald's had a tie-in, so these tie-in toys. Yeah. Of the Looney Tunes cosplaying as DC characters, and for Wonder Woman, they had Petunia Pig dressed up as Wonder Woman, and there was like this was before Space Jam, so there's no Lola Bunny in that roster. Ever since like Space Jam. It was probably the most popular things in Looney Tunes. So Lola became the token female character when it comes to advertising Looney Tunes shit. Nice. And they barely use Petunia Pig except for like I guess certain ensemble stuff like Baby Looney Tunes. And they recently been like, trying to use her for the HBO Max cartoons. And she even have her own like well, I've only seen one, but like so far she shows up in the Porky Pig and Daffy cartoons in the HBO Max cartoons, and like she has her own solo one, which is pretty funny because like her thing is like she's trying to do something in like is like, or I think she's trying to chase a squirrel that keeps messing up stuff. And every time something bad happens to her, she just like runs off like, oh, like she like goes inside of like a chimney, and it like sets her legs on fire, and then her legs are just ham, and like, I need a 10 anyway.
Jeez. Just very much like go with the flow.
Yeah. But like she's an entertaining Looney Tune.
That's cool. Again, like she was great here.
More than like Space Jam version of Lola Bunny, because there's not much of a character. Because she has more of the character than that.
As so I've heard. Everyone loves Space Jam for the character of Lola Bunny.
Again, my favorite incarnation of Lola Bunny is most people's favorite.
The Looney Tunes show.
Yeah, because she has a character in that.
Because she has a character, I understand. You know, she is Looney in that at least, and that does fit the Looney Tunes. But
I mean, they gave her a character in Wabbit where she's just like a clumsy sports, like a clumsy sportsy character.
Gotcha.
And then in Space Jam 2, they try to make it an independent female.
Yep. I do.
Which is not a character.
I still would have preferred a bunch of shorts where it's like when Daffy was in fucking he was in with the Justice League or whatever, Superman, and then he's causing a little bit of mayhem inadvertently, and then there's but Lola was in the Wonder Woman area, I believe.
The thing about that was like when we get to Daffy, we're talking about Space Jam real quick. Yeah. When we get to Daffy in Space Jam 2,
I can't remember anything about that fucking
when he's in the DC in a DC world.
Yeah.
The reason why we like that scene so much because it felt like a Duck Dodgers cartoon, and we just
that's a good point.
And we just like Duck Dodgers.
That was literally a Duck Dodgers moment. That's all that was. Which again, if you watch this and then just watch Duck Dodgers.
Those moments were good.
They were fun. They weren't amazing.
What I'm saying is it should have been the whole movie.
Well, agreed.
The Looney Tunes fucking about in the multiverse, not playing basketball in CG.
Yep, I agree 1,000%. Or, you had DC superhero dogs or whatever. It's like, how about DC Looney Tunes? Just because.
No, or Looney Tunes fucking about in the multiverse. Yeah. They had something going. I think they had something going.
It would have been perfect for the time before multiverse got overused.
All those DC characters were animated Bruce Timm style. Are you fucking with me, man?
That was cool. All right. Day of the Earth Below. Watch it. Great.
10 out of 10. One of my favorite comedies this year.
And again, this movie's been doing great with animated features so far this year. Absolutely fantastic. In fact, April's got its own great movie, and that is the King of Kings, Mark. I know you're going to give us that detail next month.
No, you are. I already did Sherlock Gnomes for you years ago. Fuck you.
Novacaine. Next.
Shit, sorry.
It's fine.
Novacaine, he can't feel any pain.
Regular guy. Go ahead.
What?
You said he's a regular guy.
I said Novacaine, he can't feel any pain.
Yeah, then he said out loud, regular guy. Didn't hear
that. Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear that part. I know you're trying to do that joke.
Sorry, go ahead.
Alright, but like this is a movie starring Jack Quaid. Bryan has a phobia of Jack Quaid.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a phobia of Jack Quaid. Alright? He's in the same roles. And
most actors. No, he's not. He's not in the same role as he is in fucking Companion.
He's not in the Boys. Same roles. He acts in the same structure and style of character.
Not really.
I like how you agreed with this, and then now you are giving a completely different state.
No. Like, because here's the thing.
We had this whole conversation over the phone. You're like, yeah, but, and now it's like, no, it's a completely different character.
No, I was giving examples of actors who have the same type of, because what you don't like is you feel like he has the same type of cadence to each role he does.
Yes.
And that's most actors with most movies, and you usually get them a pass.
Yes. No, I usually do, but right now we are in the middle.
You just don't like Jack Quaid. You don't like the Jack Quaid character.
We are in the middle of the Quaidissance, is what's happening. We are in the middle of the Jack.
How many Quaid shit you know of?
It's just
name all the Quaid shit.
Currently, it's just the 3, but it's right now. It's in the hype. We're in the core of it, and all I'm saying.
Okay, so what's the 3?
It's just Companion. It's just this, and it's just The Boys.
What have you seen?
I've seen now 2 out of 3, and I've seen this trailer repeatedly. I'm good. That's all I'm saying. It's nothing against Jack Quaid, but he does the over anxious, under anxious acting, not over anxious, just under anxious and just casual guy, and that's kind of his
from
role.
only 3 stuff. And
that's kind of his role. That's what he is, and that's fine. But I don't think
you like the character type. That's it, because he's a good actor. He's
sure,
a good actor.
Sure. Congrats. I guess he's a great actor. I mean, that's great. I'm good though. That's all. Like, I'm good with Jack Quaid.
So you don't like the Jack Quaid character.
By the way, I said this at Companion. I said this too. If you watch the January wrap up, I say the exact same thing that I'm saying right now. I am good.
I know you actually saw Companion. You just refused to see this movie, and I think it's really good.
I'm good. That's all I'm saying is I'm good. Like, and also like the whole premise of the movie is like, oh yeah, you can't feel pain and be, yeah, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, and it's creative with the action of that.
He goes too far, and God help us. It's like, okay, all right, God help him, and yeah. I think King of Kings will be more interesting than Jack Quaid's next movie.
You just like being insulting. It's like, no,
no,
it's not.
No, we had a whole conversation. I don't have all the points that I had the last time we had this conversation a week and a half ago. But in that, I had solid points, and I just don't care. Like, there are other actors.
Of course, you think you had solid points. You're the one to make the points.
You actually agreed. What are you talking about? You're like, yeah, cool.
Okay, what did I agree with?
I don't fucking remember. It's been a week and a half, bro. Like, I don't fucking remember.
Okay, then let's make some new ones.
Okay, all right. I think that there are other actors. Like, for instance, we talked about this with Ryan Reynolds when he had Deadpool 2, Free Guy, and Detective Pikachu. It's like, all right, I'm getting tired of this guy and his voice acting or his acting, and he's kind of just doing. And he's not the same exact role, but I'm hearing him. He's the same. It's just Ryan Reynolds. I'm good. I don't need any more Ryan Reynolds. You take a pause. We don't see him until If, and then Deadpool, and it's like, all right, I'm good. Now it's back. Now he's back again. I can handle that fine. Like, this guy right now, I'm good. I don't need.
You act like you see him in everything. You're just bringing up 2 examples.
It was the fact that, again, like every movie that
which is only 2 movies.
There's a difference, right? Every movie I saw between January and February had a preview to both Companion and Novacaine. Almost every movie.
That's a problem of like overplayed previews. That's so it. I get that for a lot of movies.
Yes, sure. And unfortunately, I got both of those constantly, and so it tired me out of fucking Jack Quaid. All right, I was like, all right, Jack Quaid's in this movie and he's in this movie. I'm picking one and I'm sticking to it. I'm good. All right, maybe next time don't over fucking advertise, both at the same time.
That's just awareness. That just happens.
Yeah, and that's just their fault.
Because I see the Minecraft trailer to everything, but like I'm still looking forward to the movie. But like even though I've seen the trailer a billion times, it goes for a lot of movies I've seen the trailer to a billion times. I'm still looking forward to it.
That's Minecraft. That has nothing to do with our point here. You just brought up a movie trailer.
I brought up a movie trailer that's seen a billion times.
That's not the point. The point is that there were 2 movies, and it's Jack Quaid in a similar role.
Your point is you saw them a billion times before every movie.
In the trailer, yes. But I've seen both of those. So what I did was I made a choice. It's not the Minecraft movie where it's one choice. I had a choice of 2 movies, and I said, I'm good. I've now seen the trailer 28 times for both of them. I will stick to Companion, and I don't need to see Novacaine. I don't really like the premise. I don't care for the premise, and I don't really care to see Jack Quaid do Jack Quaid again.
So what do you don't like about the premise?
He becomes what he just doesn't have any fucking. He has lack of feeling, really, and he's cool for that. Or if he's not, he uses it for some reason, and then he's awkward with everything. But then he gets a hold of himself and handles how to do the thing with the do. It's like, okay, cool. You'll learn how to handle this in the right ways given the circumstances. Congrats, buddy. You're doing it. Like
John Wick movies, he's just a guy.
Sorry, that's Keanu Reeves.
Trying to get.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you're fucking.
Sorry.
Keanu Reeves is playing the same fucking action guy now.
Sorry.
In every fucking Keanu Reeves movie.
Sorry, I've got bias. I like Keanu Reeves. I think he acts cool, and I don't think that this guy. Unfortunately,
you just don't like Jack Quaid. That's it.
I'm good. I'm good with Jack Quaid. That's what I'm saying. I have had enough Jack Quaid for the year.
Yeah, you just admit you don't like Jack Quaid.
I don't like Jack Quaid right now. Maybe next year, if he has another movie and he's not in the same fucking role, I'll be like A+. But I'm good. And also, the premise sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
The premise of John Wick sucks. He's just a guy out on revenge. He's beating up people and killing people. But those movies are great. Novacaine is great.
I'm glad. Explain Novacaine.
So again, like you said, the premise is about a guy who can't feel pain. There's people with actual real conditions, but like what this movie does is this is a an action type of like revenge type of movie where he's trying to get his girl back, and through that, huh?
So his girl goes missing.
Not really.
She gets taken. She gets kidnapped.
Yeah, she gets kidnapped.
Oh, and he has to get her back.
That's like every revenge fucking movie, you idiot.
Oh man, you're really selling me.
You want to see the fucking ballerina, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking revenge movie.
No, it's not just the revenge. It's not just the fact that it's a revenge movie. It's everything around the revenge movie. It's the actual universe that I'm interested in. You know.
And what's the universe? People killing each other? Well,
you want to see a?
She's on revenge. She's trying to get some shit.
Yeah, it's also a new character and a new actress that we haven't seen much at all.
Yeah, it was. She's going out to kill people, revenge, just like the other John Wick.
So here's one that's going after revenge. A working man. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of Jason Statham movies too. There's another one. All right. You want me to go more than that? I'm tired of fucking Jason Statham movies. I don't need to see a working man. I didn't even see The Beekeeper. That's how fucking tired I am of this. That guy is once a year doing the same shit, and I don't need to see this shit again.
I mean, those movies aren't that amazing. So like I enjoyed The Beekeeper.
That's my point.
I'm looking forward to a working man, but like
yeah.
No, but Companion was great.
Good.
And so
Companion was fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That
and The Voice is great, but you don't like the finished series for some reason.
Apparently I don't.
You're not finishing Invincible. You're not finishing The Boys.
I finished Spider-Man.
Huh? That was like 7 episodes. You piece of shit.
I finished Andor. That's an hour long per episode. So fuck you.
Yeah, but you're like fucking 3 seasons behind.
I watched
Invincible.
all of Attack on Titan. All right.
That show's gay. What are you, homosexual? Queerosexual? But like no, and I'm not knocking John Wick, by the way, people. I'm just bringing up how
he's using it as an example.
As an example of how it can be perceived as a generic plot, but the actual movie itself has good direction and good action.
Well, John Wick is a great looking movie as well. Let's not forget that. This looks very fine. It looks fine.
I haven't seen this concept before.
The direction is fine. All right. How would you say the direction?
How will you watch the fucking movie, dumbass?
The trailer's supposed to sell me. The trailer does not sell me.
I think this trailer sells.
Good.
This is a good trailer because also this is a unique. Also, the way the trailer edited is very fun. But like this is a unique concept. Yes. I haven't really I mean, it's weird. It hasn't really been done. If it hasn't been done that often before. Where it's about a guy who can't feel pain, and through his action, he is hurting himself to hurt others. But the stakes are he could, eventually just kill himself because the damage he's taken. You
can see that from a mile away.
Yeah, the damage he's taken is
it's so severe that it could kill him. Yes.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. That's where the stakes are in.
Yeah, you know where I saw that.
And Jack Quaid's charisma is fun. You're just interrupting my fucking explanation. Shut the fuck up.
All right.
Jack Quaid charisma, it's just very fun throughout this movie, and this movie's also very funny. It's very funny the way it's because it's a comedy action. And I'm fucking repeating myself, but the direction of the action is really well done. The shots are really good. The character dynamics between Jack Quaid and the other characters he bounced off of. I forgot the actor's name, but he's Ned in the Spider-Man Home movies, the Homeboy movies. Mm-hmm. His character is really well done. And I love the characters of all the main mooks he goes against. I think this is just a really fun action movie. I would say not on the level of John Wick, but it's really great. It's definitely better than the Jason Statham movies for sure. But it's a very fun movie, and I think it's just great. It's better than just okay.
So you're telling me the comedy shines here, and the
action
and notably the best parts are also just the combat sequences, the close combat sequences when he's in those scenarios where, of course, he can just kind of be free range on his own amount of damage.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good.
Well, that sounds like it. It sounds like it has benefits.
I don't think you just skip on this movie because you just don't like Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
But you don't like Jack Quaid, so whatever. If,
my God!
If you really hate an actor, you probably shouldn't see the movie because you already have a bias against the actor.
Currently, that's all. All right.
You just have a bias against the actor. You just don't like Jack Quaid, so you're not gonna like this movie anyway because you just don't like Jack Quaid.
No, I mean, again, I was.
I mean, if Bill Cosby shows up in any movie, I'm going to hate it. Just
you said what?
If Bill Cosby shows up in any movie, I'm just gonna be hated because I don't like Bill Cosby. I have a bias against Bill Cosby. He could be the best actor in the world, but I just don't like Bill Cosby. You just don't like Jack Quaid, so you're probably gonna have a bias. So you probably just shouldn't watch this anyway.
I'm just gonna sit there. I'm just gonna say, here's what I'll do. If I watch the movie, right, it's like I'll probably laugh at the humor. I'll probably be like, ooh, nice action sequences, and I'll see Jack Quaid, and I'll be like, yeah, there he is. He's that guy.
No, you're gonna see the opening. You're gonna see like establishing shots. You're gonna see shots of other characters, and it's like you're just like, huh, okay, I like the direction. Where's this going? And then Jack Quaid shows up on screen. He doesn't even say anything, right? But he just shows up on screen like, fuck! God, I can't take it. I can't take it. I can't take it. He just says one word and before he opens his mouth, he's like, and you're just like, no, I can't do it. I quit.
All right. Novacaine, if it probably isn't in theaters by the time this comes out, but it's apparently a good movie. Check it out. I won't.
I'm sorry, my dear. Did I frighten you?
You're discussing, Mark, the best Disney live-action feature until Lilo and Stitch.
Hi-ho! I got to turn the volume down on that one later.
Yeah, Mark, I could say everything about my thoughts on it without.
What are your thoughts on the original Snow White? Just give me that. I already know your thoughts are the same as everybody else who saw the trailer. Right? It's the same as me who saw the trailer. So give me your thoughts on the original Snow White. What do you think of Snow White, the original Disney Snow White?
What's funny is there's a book, where Disney has all the narratives of the actual movies, where it's you go through the story. It's I remember I have the book, this giant red.
Okay, what's your thought on the fucking movie? I ain't actually thoughts about your fucking book.
I think that it's fine. It's it's context matters, right? It's a revolutionary movie for the time. But guess what? It's almost 100 years ago, and, fucking Transformers, Bay movies look better, right? Not look better, but, they're also technical masterpieces. So, it's hard without context if you don't understand that, at the time, fucking very nice, right? But, I could sleep through it if I needed to. The real moment for the animated feature is, I think the highlight of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the original Disney film at least, are all of the dwarves themselves. Yeah. They are to me, and that's the reason why, by the way, they are more marketed than Snow White herself. At least they had been for the decades leading up to this movie, is because they are obviously character profiles of what people can see within themselves, but they are also just obviously easily merchandisable. They're also just kind of adorable at times, but that's what's more valuable to Snow White as a brand before this live action variation for Disney is the marketing, the potential revenue of the dwarves themselves, and the idea, of course, is well told, but I don't think that it's it's fine for a movie.
I never grew up with Snow White. I never had interest in watching it as a kid because it was old. And Disney Channel never really played that.
Well, they did not. Did
they
barely?
Well, in the aughts, Disney barely played much classic movies, from the 80s.
Pre-80 movies. Yeah. It's good luck with that on Disney Channel.
Yeah. But I never really had interest in watching it because it was old, and it was it didn't really never really looked that interesting in terms conceptually wise. But growing up as a history buff, I just never found the time to watch it or a reason to. And then this movie is coming out, and it's I am curious of I'm usually curious of these live action remakes. I haven't watched all of them, but because especially this one is getting a lot of controversy. So I was I'm curious of if it's good or not. I'm open. I'm already going in with a bias. This looks like trash. I'm about to watch some trash, but I'm open to this being good, and it's I would love to be surprised. So, I did my homework, and a month before this movie came out, I watched the original Snow White. Very fun classic, because it's not really about Snow White herself, it's more focused on, the dwarfs doing some funny antics.
Yes.
And the story, very simplistic.
Right.
So I thought it was interesting this is probably the most interesting of a live-action remake they could have done, because there's not much story to the original. It's just, Snow White, she's a fucking cleaner to the dark
other sisters that are treated a lot better.
That's Cinderella, you ditz.
See, that's my other problem. See how quick that instantly you don't even fuck it.
Yeah.
Cinderella is more iconic. It's so much more iconic than Snow White that it just overshadows it. And then
Well, it came out later, so they had time to improve.
And then Pinocchio was after Snow White as well, and that has the "When You Wish Upon a Star," which is the
because they
iconic
just improved themselves. That's it.
Yes, no, agreed. But it's like that's the other reason why again like this gets left in the dust is because again like it's for the time, but it's also just like
Snow White is usually in the ensemble, but she's never the poster for the Disney princesses.
Yes.
And usually if they're advertising the Snow White movie as a brand, it's just the dwarfs.
Yes.
And those little guys always showed them on T-shirts and stuff.
100%.
You would, and like in the House of Mouse show, you would see skits with the dwarves instead of Snow White. Snow White is just usually in the background, but like when they want to do the skits involving Snow White, it's usually with the Queen, or mainly the dwarves. Never really Snow White because she's just not really much of a character. But like it's just about the dwarves and the antics. There's not much story there in terms of the original movie. With the remake, with the remake it could be more interesting. The ending result is they do add more story. It's just not very good. The acting is just like very campy. It's like a middle school play with a budget of Endgame.
Oh jeez, that's a great quote. I want that quote on a wall. Mark, you always have these quotes at least on one of these reviews every month.
The main actor's name Rachel Zegler.
It's a middle school play with a budget of Endgame. That is a quote. Holy fuck.
The main actor Rachel Zegler.
Yes.
Surprisingly, her acting is not bad at all. It's pretty good. It's just like, well, I mean the script is just like very bad. The costume design is very bad. She's not... Snow White is supposed to be like this, like, infinite beauty sort of, like, woman in terms of the original Brother Grimm story. And in terms of the original movie, I mean, I'm not trying to...
She's supposed to be white.
No, well, not that. I'm not trying to be insulted, but, like, Rachel Zegler is pretty fugly. Well, especially for the plot line being the fairest of them all.
So, I think also it doesn't help that they stuck with the old costume design, which inevitably made her uglier. Because she does look beautiful in other outfits.
The colors are really bad, because, like, the colors on the original design is, like a very, like, lighter yellow. It's just, like, the colors just clash. It just doesn't look really good.
No, like, this does not look
I'm not a fashion designer, but I can see that from a mile away.
Yes. I've got style.
Honey, you look terrible in that outfit. But, like... and Gal Gadot, like, she's a beautiful woman.
Well, yeah.
She can't act for shit.
Oh, my.
But, like, she can't. Fucking Kal-El, no! Kal-El, no! She wasn't a good... Because, like, those movies, the Wonder Woman movie, like, anytime she's Wonder Woman, it was always about the action.
It was always about the
action. And everybody else around it. Fucking, Gal Gadot just can't act. She's not a good actor.
Did you know she was also in Fast and Furious? Probably don't even realize she was in Fast and Furious.
I don't know, was she good in that?
She was in like 3 movies.
Was she good in that?
She was
just there, right?
A secondary character.
Just kind of like in Justice League, she's just there.
Yeah.
Except for a prominent scene, like the best acting in the entire movie. Kal-El, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that Rachel Zegler does not fit the movie necessarily. The movie itself doesn't fit the movie it's supposed to be, and then the evil queen can't act.
Well, also the story they added it's not very good either. And what they fixed, like they gave more of a character to Snow White by making her like a more independent female that like can do her own shit. But at the same time, you take away the her. She has more agency. She has more agency than the original movie. She's just like Snow White in the original movie.
So
she's
she
a very
really be vulnerable.
Yeah, she's a very kind, vulnerable type of housewife, or like a '60s type of woman.
Well, even earlier.
Yeah, even earlier. In this, like she can be sassy. She's very actiony. She doesn't need a man to do her job.
Oh, this is why it sucks. This was directed by Mark fucking Webb. That's why.
Yeah, you didn't know? Yeah, I found that out too.
Yeah, it makes sense now. Holy fuck. he sucks. He really is. He's awful. I mean, he's not like trash. I mean, well, he kind of is, you know.
I don't. Who knows how much like influence the directors have on these live action remakes? So apparently, the director of Mufasa makes some really good movies, and the Mufasa doesn't really feel like any of that director's movies. I forgot his name, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
same thing with Tim Burton. It's like, he doesn't have the best track record, but that Dumbo does not feel like.
I'm sorry.
A good.
Tim Burton has a solid track record, and when you can see when.
In terms of recently.
When his yeah. When
Beetlejuice is really good.
Yes.
But I mean, Dumbo was shit.
Right. When he actually has full creative control, you can tell when he has full creative control. When he doesn't, you can tell as well. When he has when he can only do light adjustments, you can tell. Like there's a noticeable difference.
And I forgot who directed like The Lion King, but like it was a fucking It's Happy from Iron Man.
Wait, Favreau did?
Yeah, Favreau did Lion King.
I thought he did Jungle Book.
No, he did Lion King. And he probably did Jungle Book too. But like he fucking directed Mandalorian, and it was like, what the fuck happened to what? Like, you just fucking did point A to point B in terms of story of Lion King, and you're not doing anything interesting.
Nothing interesting.
It doesn't fucking matter. He did whatever he did it right because that movie made $1 billion. I'm the one in the wrong here.
Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff did the first Lion King.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, no, haha, I'm joking. That's the Lion King real one. That's the good
Shut the fuck up.
I had to respect the legends instead of the fucking bullshit. But another Disney remake that can fall in the trash. Mark.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm in the wrong. That movie made $1 billion, so whatever.
What?
Lion King.
Yeah.
Well, 2019.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like. So I don't know what.
I can't wait for the net.
I don't know what other movies Mark what makes. So, I just know Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Right. So you know that means that Neza and Neza 2 are gonna make like $4 billion. If Lion King live action could make double what, or 3/4 the amount that, or what is it, 75% more than the original Lion King, then I'm guessing that Neza is gonna make like some ungodly amount of money when it gets a live action adaptation. So it's gonna be fucking ridiculous.
Oh, why not? I trust the Chinese studio at this point.
I don't. Yeah, I mean I do.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't know, but I bet.
I trust them more than Disney because like they have better creativity than Disney.
Yeah.
So far.
Agreed. Any other thoughts on?
Oh yeah, like so and like
please
besides
tell us everything about.
So like besides the campy acting. And like the character, because like I don't Snow White's is not very likable, in this
Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
Actually no, it's not that she's not likable. She's not very interesting still.
Like her character is.
Her character isn't very interesting. And like none of these characters are very interesting. Like you have like so you already have the 7 dwarfs,
right? But
like also you have the 7 bandits. And instead of a Prince Charming, you have the leader of the bandits. Is there a love interest?
Is he cool? Like well, you wouldn't know the Avatar reference. I was thinking of the Last Airbender reference, but no.
They try to make him cool.
They try to make.
But also cool. the rest of the bandits are like non-characters. They're barely even named.
That's great. That's what I love is fucking. Nothing. No.
And there's and they made a new climax to where the ending of the original Snow White movie, the witch.
The climax of the Snow White movie is when if her hair gets cut. Well, I'm joking. That's not.
It's not even funny. You're just referencing another movie.
Referencing other princess movies.
Yeah, but the ending of the Snow White movie is like the original Snow White movie is the evil queen turns into old lady to trick her into eating an apple. She eats the apple, and the dwarfs fucking chase her down, chase the old lady queen down, and then she dies by a lightning bolt. But like then they come back to Snow White, and she's pretty much dead. Mm-hmm. And months, and like there's a little text on screen that says months pass by, and they put her in a glass like dome, and they like it in sort of like a funeral.
Yes.
And then the prince comes by to honor her and gives her a kiss on the lips, which is, theoretically you're thinking like she's giving a corpse a kiss on the lips, but it's a fucking fairy tale.
True love's kiss.
Yes. And like she comes back to life, and like everyone's happy because she's back to life, and her and her prince go off to the castle, and it's happily ever after. And it's like, it's a fairy tale.
Yep.
That's how a fairy tale ends.
But not in 2025.
The same thing happens.
What?
Huh?
Rachel Zegler is in a glass jar?
No. So the same thing happens where she turns into like the evil queen turns into an old lady.
Okay.
And she tricks Snow White into eating the apple. And then like the dwarfs get there too late, and to where the evil queen is already gone.
Oh, she's already gone.
She's already gone. So they don't even chase her down. She already went back to the castle or whatever. And then so like it's not much that passed by. It's just like in the same day they just put her in the middle of the forest for a funeral, a mini funeral, and then the king of the fucking head of the bandits come by, and it's like they still, even though they're trying to correct this, they still give her a kiss. He still gives her a kiss, and that brings her back to life, which is weird because they're treating the reality of this movie very literal.
Right.
So they're like doing a lot of things. They're correcting a lot of things by how we would compare it to real life, not a fairy tale. So it's weird that they still left in the kiss, because again the context is the guy's kissing a fucking corpse.
Right.
And like she still comes back to life. It could because I was expecting like it to be like the same twist as Frozen, which they probably should have done if they're gonna take it literal, like act of true love. And like she comes back to life by just a simple act of everyone crying over her or something like that.
Absolutely.
Or like somebody giving her giving the body a hug or something like that. Like, but no, it comes back to life through a kiss. Which also means she gets saved by a man.
Which is like anti this movie's original concept, or whatever Zegler didn't like about Snow White is still in Snow White.
Yes.
That's yeah.
But now the climax is. But now the climax is to get to the tower, to get to the castle, and take back the castle from the evil queen. Oh. And the dwarfs, and all the bandits make a plan to get to the castle.
I saw this in Wicked.
So this is the part where, so this is the new climax, and this is the part where I kind of dozed off, and
the real part that was added is like.
Yeah.
All right, nap time.
It was fucking. This movie's fucking boring, man.
Oh,
and I woke up like near the ending.
I wish I could burn $200 million on.
Yeah, and I woke up near the ending, and it's like what I found out through other reviews is like when she gets to the castle, she doesn't really fight anybody, or her and the bandits or the doors don't really fight anybody. It's just like she gets to the castle, the guards stop her, and she reminds the guards that like You used to be a good guy, and you used to pick apples for us, and you used to do this for us.
No.
And then they apparently like because they start to remember Snow White.
You're right.
They turn on the queen, and it's like, no, we will not kill her, and the queen runs into the castle, and she's like she talks to the mirror again. Mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Snow White has inner beauty. You will never match her. Fairness. And she breaks the mirror, and because she broke the mirror, she sort of disintegrates into the mirror.
What?
Into the mirror, and then the mirror just like comes back together. But now she's, I guess, engulfed inside the mirror, and that's how she's defeated. And because she's, I guess, practically dead, they just sort of take the castle back, and that's the end of the movie.
That's somehow dumber of an ending than the Wish antagonist.
It is dumber.
Magnifico.
It is dumber. This movie's just still very stupid.
I really want $200 million.
So, let me get to the big part about this movie.
Please.
The dwarfs. Mm-hmm. The dwarfs are kind of are weird because the original movie's just like they're the stars of the movie.
Yes.
And they're the ones that kind of defeat the queen at the end, even though they chase her down and she just kind of gets like punished by, and the queen just gets punished by God.
Well, don't forget the original movie was also called Snow White and the
Seven Dwarfs. Now this one is just called Snow White.
They get fucking credit in this.
Not
that they're actually real anyway.
So like I said, the movie is like a weird middle school play
with a
big budget.
Yeah. That was a great
and it gets it's jarring when we get to the scene of the doors because it's just them in the mines, and it's full, and it's like because this is a CG set, these are CG characters, and these are very ugly character designs. It's just very jarring because it's not the fact that the doors are ugly, because when it comes to ugly CG characters, we just sort of get used to them as the movie goes along. Because I've done this before where I think the design for the 2000 Garfield Bill Murray Garfield movie, that Garfield is fucking ugly. But I'm watching a movie,
He's a handsome lad. What are you talking about?
That design is fucking ugly, but I got used to that. I don't like it, but I got used to it as the movie go along. I still, even though it's probably have a nostalgic bias for it, that those live action Scooby-Doo and those live action Scooby-Doo movies, that Scooby-Doo's fucking ugly.
He's horrifying.
He's horrifying.
To me, I thought he was. I actually like the rest of the human cast more than Scooby-Doo.
Oh yeah, but you got used to it as you're watching it. You could get used to the doors if they started with that, but they don't nothing else is animated like them. Even the CG creatures feel like they're better animated than the doors, because these doors feel like a Robert Zemeckis creation, because he had the realistic mocap dead eye sort of thing. Yeah. They feel like that. Because it's an example is you're watching a John Wick movie, even though it's more appealing character designs. You're watching a John Wick movie, and the next scene is Wallace and Gromit, and the movie's telling you these take place in the same world. While John Wick is killing people, across the street is Gromit is Wallace crocking toast Gromit, and it's trying to tell you it's the same movie. That's what's jarring when the dwarfs come in, because it's just a different world, but you're telling me it's the same world.
Right.
And it's even more it's disorienting because it's this is a different CG style, and they're very unappealing. So it's ugh. And there's new lore with the dwarfs because the mine scene as the sequence. I think it's a decent sequence, despite the ugly character designs. But they also have a new lore where it's their hands glow when they touch the rock, and there's some sort of magic with them. But that's only for that scene. That doesn't come back.
Why even? Oh, fuck.
It doesn't come back at all. Everything that has to do with the mines, I think the mines, in terms of the background and stuff, looks cool. None of it comes back.
That's perfect. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Because the mine sequence also doesn't come back in the original movie, but
But they don't add something that makes it seem like it's
but the original movie is just kind of like a sequence of Snow White. It's just more about Snow White just getting to know the dwarfs.
Yes.
But there's an actual story going on in this movie, and it's it seems like they're adding new stuff to the mines, and it's none of it's coming back. And I was kind of getting excited if they were going to go back to the mines.
Well, no, or they were never going to go back to the mines.
Or if they're trying to fight the queen, the dwarfs are coming with a battle cry, hi ho!
Yeah, no, they were never going to go back to the mines. That's for Steve next week. For Steve and Jack Black, he yearns for the mines, of course. Yeah.
But the dwarves are barely characters in this, and they're ugly, and it's what? Well, it's. I want to say why having this movie at all, but you are remaking this movie, so you have to have him in. I mean, the obvious question is why make this fucking movie at all?
Well, here's the other thing again, just from an outsider's perspective. We saw a great period piece in Nosferatu, and they did this at a very nice budget. They found a number of castles that fit the tone of the time, and they found a setting and a place to shoot the movie that would keep it low budget and would fit a tone and a time. And that location that they shot at, that's in Europe, they use that for multiple. That can fit for any given century at any given time for from the 1200s up to the 1900s. And there's castles all over the place in Europe that you could have just fucking shot at. But instead, again, I hate the fact that this is all CGI. So much of it's CGI, and the castle's a CGI fest, and it's none of it looks like, from the outside looking in, none of it looks like you could really grasp the reality of the setting you're in. Like, I just compare because this is meant to be, again, you're going back to the past for at least, even if it's modern sensibilities, this is supposed to be a journey to a point in time that is far past where we are presently. And unfortunately, when you put so many layers of CGI over things, you also lose that ability to even get immersed in the setting you're in, because you know you're in CGI landscape number 1, CGI landscape number 2.
And the settings, just like most of these live action remakes, it's just like doesn't really. It's mostly because it's probably because the colors. It doesn't really look that interesting. It's not that interesting to look at.
Right.
Even for like practical sets, it just still gives you a vibe that everything is just CG and not real.
Right.
And that's a problem with a lot of these like live action remakes. There's a lot of problem with a lot of these like bad movies that overuse CG.
100%.
Because even when they use practical sets, sometimes you can't really tell because
like, they still layer a ton of shit over it anyway.
Yeah, and the color is just like not really that great.
The color's
so it's just,
muted
this movie's not very interesting to look at. Period. And again, the dwarves are barely. I think their voices are fitting, and the dwarves, but they're barely characters in this either. They're just there, and like the original movie's just about Snow White's relationship, getting to know the dwarves, and this movie's not about that. And I don't really care for the songs in the original Snow White movie. Like there's Whistle While You Twerk, the classic. And
so, yeah,
I do like the dwarf song in the original movie, Dig, and Hi Ho.
That's the one that I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know "Whistle While You Work" has become an iconic song because of obviously the '90s rap variant.
I never heard of that until you posted that.
That was fun. That one has
Whistle
a lot
While You Twerk.
That was so stupid, but like that's a thing. But it's more the Hi Ho is like that to me. That's iconic. Like, I think if you ask my parents, Hi Ho is like. That's an iconic, like, you know where that came from. If you ask people now, because Disney does not know how to keep their older stuff around for reference, that gets forgotten.
I'm gonna get to that, but like the newer songs are very forgettable, and like one of the songs are just like a weird because Gal Gadot has a villain song, and it's very campy, and it's like this. It feels like this character is supposed to be more menacing, but she's having like a campy. The movie's still playing it straight. It's not trying to play it for humor.
Right.
But like she's having this weird campy musical number while she's trying to punish one of her guards for not killing Snow White.
This is a serious situation that most of the movie has taken itself seriously. This is a very campy moment.
Early in the movie, early in the movie, she asked the guard to kill Snow White. Mm-hmm. The guard couldn't do it because he's entranced by her inner beauty. So later in the movie, the guard comes back without Snow White being killed, and she's punishing that guard into the dungeon. But before she does that, she has a musical number of her being evil and stuff. That's and great. Like it's very campy, and like it doesn't fit for, I guess, what the movie is trying to make this character for.
Yeah.
It's trying to tell you this character is very dark and menacing, and it's just so weird. And Gal Gadot, along can't, and she can't sing either. So it's just weird.
No.
So a lot of the songs are forgettable, but like.
Doesn't Rachel Zegler have a new song too?
She has a couple of new songs.
But they're not bad. Because she can actually sing.
They're forgettable too.
Is it as bad?
It's not great. Her singing is not great either, but like
is it as bad as the Princess Jasmine song in the live-action Aladdin?
No, it's not.
The whole movie stops.
That's stupid. That was a stupid song.
It all stops.
I can tell you what is a stupid song. Fucking Princess Problems. There's a song called Princess Problems. That song, and that is sung by the Bandit, and it's a very corny song. No, it's not interesting, but like you said, Hi Ho. It hurts a compliment in this movie, but like, I personally think that new version of Hi Ho fucking slaps.
I mean, there's always one. That's the problem with these live-action remakes is there's always one song that, like, leaves the movie, and it's like, as bad as this fucking shit is, and as manufactured McDonald's as this shit is, that one song is good. Like, even Wish had one song that was
I'll play you, like a part of the song.
You don't have to.
Pause it.
You don't
Fuck you.
I'm not pausing it. You're going to have to. 1,
All right, so
Yeah, you just had me listen to the Hi Ho song.
Because
this reminds me of a point that I totally forgot to make about the last live action movie that came out, whenever it did. I hate this so much. Disney will place the newer variants of those songs everywhere and prominate them front and center too. Like not just in we're talking Disney Plus with the movies and Disney Plus getting front and center, but with the music, if you go to Spotify or other places, the live action shit gets put into prominence over the fucking.
They're constantly replacing their legacy.
And it's but the older stuff is. Most of the older stuff actually got more effort put into it, especially if you're making a carbon copy that's not as good. Now, this Hi-Ho, I thought it started off to me not great, and then the middle to end really became triumphant.
Well, that's the I just sort of give you the ending part right there. I think the whole song, because they also incorporate the Dig 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 song into it in the middle of it, which I thought was very smart. And I think the Doors, in terms of dialogue, have good chemistry within that song. And I think they work in clever ways to introduce some of the Doors, it's back to bed I go, I'm sleepy. Yeah, we know. They'll say they'll work in their names, but it's in a way they're saying what they're feeling. I'm sleepy. Yeah, we know. Or the one is I'm happy. Yeah, we know. And the one you just heard is he's bashful. Yeah, we know. They introduce the characters in those ways. And I also think, they have, fun interactions within that song. When I listen to that song separate from the movie, I'm thinking of the fucking 2D dwarfs.
Right.
Because I'm not having that much of a fun time when I was watching the movie because I was looking at those fucking ugly-ass Robinson Mechas looking things.
Right.
But, it has what's missing from a lot of these modern Disney movies in general. It's
soul.
No.
A purpose.
Even it still doesn't have that. I'm saying the song, you idiot. Stop interrupting me. We got on for 32 minutes on this, but
I haven't added much. All right.
You keep interrupting me with shit.
All right.
That's because you talk through everything else.
I'm bringing valuable assessment to Disney's pointlessness.
Well, it has.
Wait, that includes the pausing. Go fuck yourself. This is more like 25 minutes.
Huh?
That includes the pausing. That's more like 25 minutes. Go fuck yourself. Anyway.
30 minutes.
Cool.
Tops.
Continue.
But the lyrics to that song has flow. It has flow in the lyrics. It has good lyrics that match with the other rhyming words.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of songs, even the other songs in the same movie, just miss out. That's what the songs in Mufasa movie I had a problem with is those lyrics don't have flow. Lyrics.
Bye.
Huh? Bye. The lyrics in Hi Ho specifically have flow, and it's a good song.
Yeah.
And a fucking ugly with fucking ugly characters. But this is the only good thing.
Insulting the main character like that. That's so mean.
All of them. Fuck it. The only good looking character is Gal Gadot, which is weird because the movie is about her checking in with the mirror, hey, mirror, who has the top leaderboard score for most beautiful? Snow White still. The fuck?
Yeah.
Bummer. But
Hi
Ho was the only good thing out of it.
Imagine the chick that doesn't wash up every day is hotter than you, who washes up, and it's just objectively, the evil queen probably fucking actually washes up every day, has good hygiene. Meanwhile, fucking Snow White, it's you probably don't have proper hygiene on the regular, but even then you're still not the fairest. Now, obviously, the fairest is meant for.
Well, even in the movie, she doesn't. She's at the fucking dwarf's house. Yeah. The queen is at the the luxury house or working fucking plumbing and shit and electricity.
Yep. You have any other final thoughts on this movie, Mark?
This movie sucks.
It's
just another bad live action remake. There's nothing to get about that.
I'm glad for your feedback.
To be fair, why remake this? Because the original movie is not. It's historically important, but as a movie compared to the other Disney movies that came later, because they outdid themselves. Because Disney would just keep outdoing themselves, as it goes on, and they would kind of fall into a slumber, and then they would come back with the fucking Renaissance. But it's...
Yeah, it started with The Black Cauldron. What a Renaissance level movie that was.
Fuck you.
Cartoon chat.
Fuck you for making me watch that again.
Hey, again, compared to Wish, it's a great fucking movie. It's a solid movie compared to Wish. And plus, Gurgi asked for smackings and whackings, so you know.
Getting a swirly in a fucking used toilet is better than Wish. That's not hard. That's not.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I still think hypothetically, if they put care and passion into it, and they really wanted to, which they never do, and they wanted to give it a soul, Snow White as a live action a modern day live action Snow White, not set in modern day, but actually made in modern day, could be great. Could be one of the best movies of Disney's history, but of course they don't do that. So, you know.
Hi ho.
Yeah.
But like, this movie's just not good. It's just like it's I don't know why are you gonna make a movie about this one though, and like unless you're gonna like, you probably shouldn't follow the original movie like literally. Probably just like kind of make better story. I don't know. Just...
All right, I don't know why we keep the bet. Okay, real art. We just saw this 3 years ago, Pinocchio, made by Guillermo del Toro, and then Disney's over here doing dumb shit, and like that's the comparison, right? Like we saw it literally that year. Like Disney's
besides that movie looking ugly, they're following the original movie, but literally.
Yes, so Disney's doing their dog shit thing of just following the thing to a T. Like we can't fucking
and taking it literally and realistically.
Then you've got other people who have actual concepts and opinions taking it their own route, like and visions.
And like movies like movies like The Lion King, it's still like, you know, it's animals can't fucking talk, but like they're trying to the point of the live action part is just like how this story worked literally. I mean, more of the same, but you still have to take liberties because it's still unrealistic.
Yes.
I don't know. These live, it's just, again, it's stupid. This movie.
Well, here's my problem is again like Lilo and I wish Lilo and Stitch would lose money, but it will make $1 billion, and Disney will continue to fucking milk this shit. Like like if we just had more losses in this department, we'd be fine. But if you're just striking it, if it's like, oh, you know, fucking Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion, I mean, guess what? Let's keep fucking doing that.
Well, here's the thing: Lilo and Stitch looks fine, is because
well, it looks fine because it's not doing anything. It's got the right cast. It has the right cast. It has a good CGI Stitch. It looks like it will be faithful to it. But it's another example of we're not gonna still change much.
Oh yeah, but like the thing about being faithful, it doesn't really need to do that much because what Disney's quest with these live action movies is like, what happens if we take this literally and make it more realistic? Yes. The original Lilo and Stitch was already literal and it's realism.
Yes.
And it just added sci-fi shit.
Yes.
So they didn't need to do much, and it's the same thing for the How to Train Your Dragon movies. They were already literal with how it was like realistic.
They're already grounded in their approach. Yeah.
They're grounded in our logic to reality already.
Yes.
So they don't need to do much.
Yep.
And that's why they're just gonna be fine. They both look fine. But but they're even more pointless.
They're so much more pointless. Just, yeah.
Better movies, but because they're more pointless.
Yep. Watch Inside Out from last year and watch Wild Robot from last year.
Watch all the good movies we just talked about before this one.
This is
and Novacaine.
Yeah. All right. Can we leave this shit?
No.
Can we please?
No.
Death of a Unicorn. Mark, this is an A24 film here, I believe. Yes, indeed. This was directed by Alex Sharfman. This was the stars Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega, Will Poulter, Tay Leone, and Richard Grant. Has a runtime of 107 minutes, a budget of $15 million, and it is not doing well. Mark, I think that as I told my family last night after I watched this movie, I thought immediately when I saw it, wow.
They liked it. You told me they liked it.
Yeah. So. Sorry. Correction.
What was with the big pause there?
Correction. My mom liked it. My sister was not in the conversation, so when she joined in, we both agreed a lot about a number of things. The biggest thing is, wow. How do you take a concept like this and make it as fucking boxed to lunch as possible? Well, they did it. this is the most fucking generic. Like, A24 usually is out of the box stuff. And I think that there's some great, like, capitalist, like, understand, like, you know, the wealth class and what this guy wants to do for his daughter and family and all that. But, like, Paul Rudd's character is not, in a way, like, he's bordering on the edge of unredeemable for continuing to do these things just for the fact that he wants money. I understand the fight that he's in, but, you know, it is what it is. But notably, the biggest issue is, again, this whole story is, the journey we go on is, it's just not good.
Okay, so,
for the premise, it's just not good.
Okay.
I think there's several things you could have done better.
Okay, I got late to the movie theater. I came in a minute before the logo popped up, because I came in, like, when they when they just, like, walking out of the car to check on the unicorn, they just ran over and she touches the horn. Is there anything before that?
It's just that they were at the airport. There's not much of an approach angle with this movie. You just kind of learn that they're going to this nature reserve area that's overseen by wealthy people. They're on an airplane. They're waiting to get off of it, and that's it. And then they get in the rental. There was some interesting, like, for brief moments, there was great editing in the beginning, and then, like, before that, and then you get to the crash, and
I missed the best parts of the movie.
So did you see when she touched the horn?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I think this is a movie that, again, like, we talked about Ghibli before. Ghibli does a really good job with this type of thing already.
Oh, so it's on level Studio Ghibli. Oh, damn.
Like, no. But, like, this idea of, like, you know, people that want to use it for this reason or that reason versus the person that sees what we're not supposed to be doing and will fight to make sure that doesn't happen, or is put in a situation where they can't really fight back against what the sort of ruling class want to do here. Like, I think this movie should have been much more centered around the daughter. That should have been the core of this movie, but instead it's like it tries to bounce around with Paul Rudd. And again, like, I understand that he's in a situation where he wants to do it for the money, so that's supposed to be the balance, but in fact it makes him more irredeemable. He should have been killed off. Unfortunate, like, it's unfortunate, but he doesn't
earn that. He doesn't earn to come back to life. But, like, the thing is, it's more of like an actor bias, because, like, it's Paul Rudd.
It's Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
He gets a pass. The idea of the nature reserve thing, it's like, okay, that's interesting. Like, but again, I just think they don't handle this concept well at all. There's so many better ways to do this, and again, like, Ghibli's done it twice in better ways. Notably, Mononoke does it a lot better. I just was sitting through this movie like, all right, I was interested, but again, like, we've seen what, like, okay, this guy was sick, now he's healthy, okay, yeah, all right. And then these guys come through, these unicorns come through, and shit goes left, and yeah, like, okay. Yeah, like, I just, like, the daughter didn't deserve any of this to happen around her. You know, I feel like this is like this is probably what the kid. Because when Paul Rudd's character says, thanks for coming along, it feels like the kid that was stuck on the submarine with his rich fucking dad was like, thanks for coming along, and then he dies. That's kind of like what I felt like in that moment. I'm like, bummer. That's probably what he felt right before the fucking submarine exploded.
This movie for me as a whole, it was just like kind of a shrug. Okay. It was just a shrug. Okay, that's my rating of the movie right there. It's like, a lot of these characters aren't very likable. Like, Paul Rudd, his decisions, like, trying to, like, ignoring his daughter, and everybody is kind of is very unlikable. You know, everybody else is pretty much villains.
Yes.
That's going to die anyway, and, like, the daughter, even though she's the one in the right the most, I didn't find her, like, she's the least unlikable, but still, I thought, like, okay, like, she could, like, I think, like, there should have been scenes where her, like, trying to play along with Paul Rudd to get, like, to at least help her a bit. So yes. She can have more of an innocence. But, like, it's just, like, everyone's just have a kind of an unlikable trait to them. And it's, like, I do like the scenes where, like, the assholes who are going to die anyway are just playing it up. I think that was, I don't think they're great, but I think they're fairly entertaining enough for what the movie is. The kills aren't that creative. I mean, the unicorns themselves,
they look kind of bad in most moments. There's some great, there's moments of great puppetry, But then there's moments of awful CGI in others, and that's fine because the budget's so low. But in doing so, it's like Jesus. Like
I don't think the unicorns looked that great, but then again, it didn't really. This was a budget movie anyway, so it's like I didn't really mind it that much. It's not really. It's not. I mean, in terms of cinematography wise, or even like setting wise, the movie doesn't feel. In a weird way,
it doesn't even feel like
the movie doesn't feel that premium to begin with.
It doesn't even feel well. Yeah, it just also the settings don't feel really lived in necessarily. It's like you get to this reserve, and it's not. It's a cabin area, but it feels just faux real, which is maybe partially what they wanted to do. But if they wanted to do it, it's not that well detailed. And again, like Jenna Ortega, which funny enough that she can still manage to play she can still play a late teenager very well, very like late teen, early 20s, very well. About like that works well. I love all of the actors here. I just don't like what they're given to do in this movie.
I was just hoping.
We don't. And also, like,
what was the main girl's name again?
There's a missed opportunity. Jenna Ortega. There's a missed opportunity though, where we don't see we never get to see the ramifications of like, oh, okay, maybe this will go here and there, or we see other people react. Like it's like no, it's all just within this one setting.
I was kind of root for Jenna Ortega to just take the car and just leave.
I thought that
just say fuck it to everybody. Well, you're fucked. These unicorns are coming.
I thought it was going to happen 20 minutes earlier than the ending we got, and yeah. I thought
I also didn't like you just trying to, trying to help trying to fight back for the unicorns. I mean, I'm just being realistic, but if I was in that situation, like, you guys made him piss, so I'm getting the fuck out of here. This is your problem.
Yeah, but
I just wish that would have happened.
I agree.
It's more of a with scenario than what happened in the actual movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Here's what's weird. It's like it's not a bad movie. It's just not doing anything great either. And just not good. But it's not bad. It's just there.
I think that's the right description. It's just not good. It's not good. I just say.
Yeah.
It's just like, at most, it's just okay.
Yep.
I was just like I watched this after I had a good day at like our small convention at a college.
The college con at UMBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
and I was like, I was fine with that. Yeah, this wasn't bad. And like, sure.
Yeah.
That was about it. Yeah. You can skip this movie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any much. A24 has made way better shit than this. I think they're coming out with more better shit than this.
I think they're
I was looking forward to this movie though.
I was, but I'm more looking forward to Legend of Ochi or whatever that movie is next month, or that's coming out.
I didn't know that existed until just recently.
Yeah, I sent that to you. Texted you at some point, but either way, like I'm glad you now have seen what it looks like. But yeah, like I'm excited more about that because that premise and the puppetry looks great. I don't.
Reminds me of fucking Gremlins. Say what up the
It's like Gremlins Baby Yoda mixture.
Yeah.
It's like some hits, some misses with Fate 24, and that's what you're gonna get anyway. All right, Death of a Unicorn. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and solo this review. Woman in the Yard. There goes Mark. It's late. It's his bedtime anyway. This was directed by Jamae Collet Serra. This was written by Sam Stiffick. This stars Daniel Deadweiler, Okoye Akapusawili. I know I got that wrong. Okoye Okpawasili. Sorry. Peyton Jackson.
Ting ting all being
all right, racist. Estella Kahiha. I think it really, because the situation is that you have a family that's mourning the death of you have a family that's mourning the death of a husband character. Like it's the family. They moved into a project home.
Not the projects.
Not a project home, but a home that's a fixer-upper home. And, the plan was to make a living out there and, live off the land and all that stuff. And the father and the husband dies. So now it's just her, and he dies by a car crash. She's also injured, so she's in a vulnerable position. they're all mourning this loss, or they're struggling through it. It's a psychological thing, and I think I wrote quite a few notes here. I thought that again, like. I don't know. I know this movie has poor ratings or middling ratings, but I think some movies just capture people differently. I thought that this movie captured me a lot, like very well. I don't understand how this has such negative ratings. I thought this was phenomenal.
I'm surprised it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people when they saw this movie, they wanted a slasher.
Did you look up reviews?
Yeah, it's like middling again. It's like 45%. And like
No. Did you look up the context of the reviews?
No. But it's. It's middling reviews, which means some people like it, some people don't.
Movies, because like I didn't see what concept this was. I didn't get what concept this was.
It's psychological.
Yeah. I know it's psychological, but like it didn't really seem that interesting enough for me to want to go out and see it. Mm-hmm. So usually, if a movie that doesn't look that interesting to me, I check reviews and its scores to weigh my interest in. And because the scores are low, it's like, well, I'm not gonna bother. 'Cause I already got too much shit to see.
Right.
Nothing against the movie, but like it's.
I do think what I noted down was I think some people wanted a slasher or whatever. Like I also think if there were weird ads where it kind of like had the woman like I think the ads kind of there were like cheaper ads on YouTube that I had seen where it's like you have this you use the woman in the yard, but you do it kind of poorly where like she's standing in like grocery stores and she's standing like in weird ass spots. It's like that doesn't work in the context of what this movie is trying to focus on, which is kind of more like mental health. Again, what this movie kind of gets, again, it's not a slasher. This is a psychological movie that doesn't go so insane into like the hallmarks of the psychological drama. It doesn't go that far into it, but it does enough that I think it does a very good job. Again, I think the actors are great. The children actors are great. There are two actors here. You have a teenage boy and a younger girl. The teenage boy, I think, does a very good job. He's at the age where he wants to take leadership. He wants to have that more masculine role, especially after his dad dies. But of course, like he's also limited by his mother because she's actually trying to protect him in this situation. The kid daughter is between like 5 and 7, or meant to be, and that's the age of like just you're in observation at that age, and I think that fits very well for what this movie is trying to portray in terms of what the kid character is going through.
You can spoil it because I'm not gonna see this.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like that's what I noted. Like the way that it's presented is done really well.
What happens?
Honest as possible. So the woman in the yard is of what I can interpret as this house. Like I think what you see through her, the mother, is she's weighed down by. We learn later that she's been trying to cover from her kids that she was the one that was driving the car that caused the death of her husband, their father, and that's a lot of weight on her. We see that she is behind on certain things, electric and.
You have to let me go. The crash wasn't your fault.
Right, but the electric bill, just she's having a hard time getting past this loss. In the very beginning of the movie, she's sitting there. She's laying in bed, watching old footage of the husband and her talking. We see at certain moments, there's a moment in the movie where she has a sort of, it's not a dream sequence, but she's very close to death in that moment, where the husband, where it's like she visualizes her safe place, which is within her husband's arms, and I think it's comfortable, but she's got to get back out there and help her daughter and her son there. But it's tough to do that when you're struggling so hard. You just want to have a break, a moment. But when it says today's the day, it's like by the time you get to the end of the day, it gets to about nightfall, and you realize, oh, she's going to kill herself, right? Like, and I think in any research around this idea of suicidal ideation, it's that you think, and the way they present it so well, you think that everyone around you is better off without you in the picture. You think that the opportunity will be that they will see, that what you see visually in the future is that they'll be just better off, and that you're holding those people around you back. And they do a great job representing that, because death is sitting there with her, presenting it's all mental, it's all within her own head, but the way it's presented is that's not really her, but it's got a strong grip on her beliefs. You know, and when she does make the decision toward the very end of the movie, she's going to go and kill herself. She's got a shotgun. She takes, at first in the movie, she takes the gun. You think, okay, this is not necessary. You don't know what's going to happen, but by the end, you actually know what's going to happen. You think it's for her protection. The woman in the yard is there. She's sitting out in the street, out in the yard. You think it's for defense, but in the end, you realize that she is going to end herself. And it's done, I think, very unfortunate poetically, but I think done very well. In the fact that, you know, she tells the kids to go away, that she would be, again, she's, in her head, is better without them in the picture at all. That if they just leave, it's visually better for them to be out of the picture. And the one tether that holds her in place is this one plushie that her daughter gives her. And again, in the actual, at the moment where she was going to kill herself, she has this shotgun. And the shotgun is like, or rifle shotgun, whichever it is. She's fighting death, who is kind of lovingly trying to get her to pull the trigger. Like, and it's so interestingly done because you could tell that she doesn't want to, but death is kind of pulling it closer to her. And there's a great moment where you just have a pause. There's no music. There's no nothing. You just get a couple different, like, what you would call background shots of just random settings around the property.
This premise is interesting, but I'm not sure how they could have advertised it. But like, it probably
they could. That's the thing.
They probably should, because even with this trailer, they probably could have advertised it better than what they're doing, because it looks like there's a woman in the yard. She's gonna kill this family.
Exactly. Like this trailer markets it, I think, horribly, because you think it's going to be a slasher thriller killer type of thing, and in fact it's so psychological that maybe some people don't like it, will not like it, because it's honest about certain things. It's really honest and presents these things in a way that I think is portrayed better, because when you then look at everything that happens in the movie again, like the way that she is distant and mourning the loss is impacting everyone around her, and because of that, that distance is present in the household too. I have a couple. I think I have a couple more final notes. I just want to make sure I have these down.
I think it's part of why you're looking for notes.
The teenager at the age. And again, there's great direction here. There's great framing with the use of, obviously, you see the woman in the yard like do a lot of things with movement with certain parts of the household and things like that. But there's just also just great direction with, you know, how the camera moves in certain areas and how things are framed and shot. And again, the mother's again at its core, I wrote down again, the mother is extremely depressed, injured, carrying. The mother is A, extremely depressed, B, injured, C, carrying the weight of her husband and children's father dying, while being left picking up the pieces in a home and vision that itself was incomplete upon his passing, and she's drowning from the weight of it all. Again, she even says that she's drowning in the film itself. But I thought the kid actors are great. I thought the main actor was great. I thought the situation is upfront and real. And I think it presents this mental situation very well. I think it presents that ideation very well, and I think it really does a great job of understanding that mental health aspect very well. So I think A plus film for me, but not for everyone. Again, I think this is one of my favorite. It's not a favorite movie because of it's like, oh, it's fun, but it's like it's a great film in how it portrays things, I think. Woman in the Yard. That kind of wraps the core of our reviews up, and so that means that's a wrap on the March Screen Blast wrap up. Mark, do you have a favorite movie in this March collection here?
Plankton.
Yeah, that was the one. I think Novacaine was my favorite.
Better be, bitch. Better respect it. I mean, honestly, it's fine. So I'm gonna spoiler alert for the end of the year. Our favorite movies. Number 1 is Looney Tunes. So you don't have to watch that video because you already know my number 1. You already know his number 1 is Looney Tunes too. That guy. So Looney Tunes is just our number 1 of the year. No matter what movie comes out later, it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Yeah, that's totally true. That's official.
Well, it's either for him. It's either Looney Tunes or Novacaine.
Oh, Novacaine's coming up quick, man. That one might be close.
It better be, bitch.
Yeah, it was. Mark, let's get ourselves out of here. Of course.
Yeah, because after this, we're about to go to the theater and watch Novacaine and Snow White double feature.
Get out at 2 a.m. Guys,
we're probably gonna see. Actually, realistically, we're just gonna see Snow White twice.
Yeah. Realistically, yeah. But this is the March wrap up for the Screen Blast podcast. Of course, you can find this podcast on your favorite podcast service and YouTube. The ScreenBlastPodcast.com. ScreenBlastPodcast.com. Mark, where can they find you?
At Cannabis.com. That's K9BSKUTS.com.
And of course, you can find me at Bryan the Baltimorean on Instagram. You can find me at Democracy on YouTube. That's ATHENOCRACY on YouTube. And you can find me right here on Screen Blast and CartoonChatPodcast.com as well. Guys, we appreciate you very much for watching. And of course...
Yeah. It's been 3 hours. Get the fuck out of here. We're done. All right, good night. Just...
Break your fucking...
What?